Storm Spirit get anybody with a NIMBY on their head? How does Enigma get an Ags with a NIMBY on his head? How does anything happen? Meepo! What in God's name? The first Meepo of the tournament, and it's in the grand finals at the Tigers. Rounding out their draft, and the question is, gentlemen, you like that? You hate it? You like it?
It is a hard counter to Storm.
Pretty Pixel and Fog.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, NAVI versus Tigers here in the grand final of the Corsair Dream League Season 10. Both teams playing off in this best of 5 to have a shot at that top spot here at the championship and that ticket to the major in just over a week's time. I'm OD Pixel, I'm here with Fog, and boy, what a way to start the grand finals. We're getting a Meepo.
We've got Meepo. Yep. And not only just a Meepo, we've got Pangolier too. Moon Meander displayed one of the best Pangolier performances that I've seen.
Game.
Period. He did not die in that game at all. No. And his itemization was excellent. I loved how he went this like support like utility build, and it was versus Enigma as well.
It was, and what he does, and one of the smart things, you get the basher
too.
Well, the fact that it's the counter to sort of the BKB Enigma. You get the basher, you get the swashbuckle, bam. How is he ever going to cast it? You can't itemize against that.
But what if he bashes one of the things in front of it?
Well, he's got to find the angle. This, I'm expecting. He's a smart man. He knows his trigonometry or whatever the mathematic term is to do with angles and stuff. Pythagoras, he's got it.
I'm a big fan of like the blink Yules in particular versus the Enigma, because you blink on top of the Enigma with your ulti, you Yules, and Enigma you need to someone has to force staff him where he has to get the BKB off, because otherwise you just get chain stunned by that Pangolier, which could end up happening. But we have to get to that point too, because there's a Meepo. This hero can run away with games incredibly fast. And Owen, as a Meepo expert, how do you feel?
In terms of the Meepo game, it's pretty damn good.
I
feel it's pretty damn good Meepo game.
He can do incredibly well in the lane. I think he can really crush a Storm as soon as he gets those levels built up, and he can even just jungle. He can outpace, and we're going to see the double Wraithband build. That was a build that was popularized quite early on.
But there's some things that are annoying. You sort of look at the AOE. The Gusts kind of sucks to play against. The Earth Spirit, if he's on point with the control, and Enigma, sort of throwing down a Midnight Pulse. If your micro's not up to par, you're suddenly sort of going to be stuck in this awkward area where all your Meepos are slowly dying. But that's the trick. You see, they're slowly dying. You look at this lineup in NAVI. There's nothing that's going to go kablam and just delete a Meepo. You know what I mean? Just
there's no Elder Titan.
Nothing is going to splat a Meepo immediately. So if you can sort of buff up and get those stats built up as we do expect with sort of the stacking of smaller items, you could have a pretty good time. But we'll see how much pressure's put on early. And hey, who knows? It's a drought strat. They come out on top of the first 10 minutes, and NAVI could start running away with the game in the first 20.
If Ajit didn't get hit by that boulder, Seneko was rolling under tower there. That was a risky play there by the Earth Spirit. But look at this. We're already talking about emphasis on the Meepo. They're dual laning him, and they even tried to snipe his courier at the beginning.
I like it. So these first few levels, make sure the Meepo can't get that early CS. He's probably going to catch up, but you can certainly sort of control how long it's going to take him to catch up. You make sure that he doesn't get that easy lane at the start, because if he does so, he's going to constantly be ahead of the game. And against these heroes, be able to waltz into sort of any lane that he wishes and find the kill with a lot of good synergy, a lot of good setup around him, whether it be sort of a toss into position or other heroes initiating, buying time for the Meepo to walk up and find those kills.
Yeah. And they did this, I don't know if they had this exact same lane though, but they love having the Pango versus Enigma in the mid game, but also in the lane. Because now you've got these double nukes that you can apply to kill those Eidolons, and it's a mixture, right? It's a mixture of magical and physical, so those Eidolons, they have crazy magical resist, but your Swashbuckle is great versus that, and they have a CM on top. So you can spam out, kill those Eidolons. Even if he's going to be denying creeps, he's going to be losing Eidolons for sure in that lane.
We can see at the moment Snakeo able to pull the creeps right around between the tier 1 and tier 2 on their bottom lane, so they can have a safe place to sort of farm those and keep themselves away from the two of Tigers down there on the safe lane. The mid lane CS at the moment, 8 for 6 on Arjit compared to Magical on the 8 for 3, so very close. Obviously that a little bit of a help that Magical had at the start, helping him to keep that lane even. Yep. Top lane, Crystallized, struggling in farm. It's going to be a slow start for the Drow, not the easiest way to hit the creeps. And Tiny, he may not have a lot of last hits, but he's getting those denies, which is certainly going to help slow down the leveling of this Drow, make sure that early level 6 doesn't come at a crazy time to sort of enable the Storm Spirit in the mid and the Enigma down bottom. That's mid lane, bit of a go, onto Magical, couple of poofs. Just making sure that Magical knows his place as Arjit, ready to step up and amp up the pressure with this Meepo as those early levels come flying in.
Yeah, and in usual Storm versus Meepo matchups, the Meepo is going to win, but now he has a CM or a 2. So it's like you can constantly get those poofs off always. Storm can still get last hits, but you're going to get out denied.
Now Moon, he may find some action here. Seneca does still have the ability to roll away. As Moon is chasing. Moon's going to have Swashbuckle back up in 5, but already the sow starts to tick. Sure, it gets cancelled, but Seneca needed to pop it there. If he didn't, the Swashbuckle would have been enough. And at the same time, in the mid lane, Arjit sets up, gets the first blood onto Magical as the solo Meepo. Friendly tip comes out of Moon as he knows that this is Arjit off to the beautiful laning start. And this is the dream. You know, you have a Meepo on your team. Sometimes you look towards that mid lane and you're like, oh my goodness, he's struggling. But Moon's looking towards his mid. He's seeing his Meepo get first blood. He knows Arjit, he's in the zone.
Yeah. We used to, I think No Tail was one of the big ones that talked about it. People, when Queen of Pain was picked a lot and Meepo would be picked, it would be like, game's over immediately. Because he's just like, the lane is like impossible to play and the mid game just gets super difficult. And Ajed, 17 and 10 already versus Magical, full mana as well. He's even going for triple Wraithband, not just the double Wraithband strat. And like you mentioned, the top lane, 9 denies on Tiny. Drow Ranger's animation, not the best, and he's versus 2 heroes that have great animations and high base damage between the Weaver and the Tiny. So already Tigers, this is 4 minutes in and they're a 2k advantage because of these lane setups, which are absolutely beautiful.
That's a scary start from Tigers. There's NAVI. And this Drow lineup, they never sort of want to be playing from behind in these very early stages of the game.
Yeah. They at least have, of course they have the Blizzy Enigma. Oh, is this going to be a toss back?
Crystallize coming a little too far up the lane as he will accept his fate. No escape for him there as another kill for Tigers.
Brutal start for Navi. They're really going to have to... A lot of pressure is going to be put onto Blizzy in particular because the Magical is going to have a struggle time already, as we're seeing on the Storm Spirit. Drow Ranger is going to have a big struggle. And Earth Spirit, he isn't the big force that he was in the past where he could just go lane to lane, try to get these kills. This hero actually relies a lot on how well your actual laning heroes are doing. And Navi, right now, it's definitely looking a bit rough.
Bit of an attempt here onto Moon, but Moon's forgot the backup. The 2-man shield crash comes into play as 14:37 sets it up with the slow. Tigers again getting their kills. 3 kills so far. Mid lane, Arjit being tickled a little bit by Magical, but no real threat from the Storm. And just level 5 against this Meepo. Not enough burst to sort of beat him down through the HP that he has on the 2 of them. Little attempts of cancelling the salve, but Chew with a sweet sidestep will keep that salve ticking.
I think the really advantageous thing also is like you look at Navi's lanes and they're very predictable. They can't actually vary at all. When you look at Tigers, they have a lot of ways that they could have switched it around, right? So like the laning advantage, Tigers had it set up from the draft.
Absolutely. They really did. They had a lot of fallbacks, a lot of ways to react to anything that Navi did in terms of their lane matchups.
They need this. They need this to go a bit better as the tossback is already happening.
Now he's in a tricky position. Frostbitten. And without a hope in the world, Chew caught out this top lane, just getting absolutely smashed now. In fact, all lanes just looking to be a rough start for Navi. All cause finding the farm on Tiger's lineup. As again, top, Zephyr.
Another toss back.
Oh, and it's going to be another free kill. The Frostbite sets up for more money into the bank of the Wonder Kid, aka In Your Dream.
Magical's level 5. Our Meepo's probably level 8 already.
Oh, and they're dying. Crystallize top. Crystallize does have Seneca by his side. Is there anything that he can do to help him? I don't think so. The Frostbite locking down yet another double kill for the Weaver, and they're not done yet. They're going to try for Seneca as well. They have the Avalanche. He's already thrown out the kick. Seneca will fall at 6.5 minutes in. It's a triple kill for Wonder Kid. 5k lead now for Tigers, as they have come into this best of 5 grand finals absolutely roaring.
Incredibly prepared too. This is so troublesome for Navi with the Drow lineup. You're losing all 3 lanes. Your supports are going to be extremely underleveled because of this. And the sides of Tiger, they're all enabled. They all have CM aura. They're all getting these early item timings. And panel mentioned, like Kyle said, they want to snowball with Meepo. This is one great setup. Yeah. Getting Magical involved as soon as he gets 6. Same thing with Blizzy. Getting themselves at least a kill on the board.
Yeah, it may be sort of the black hole used, but yeah, you hadn't
Much
got a
needed.
kill yet on the team. It's huge, even not necessarily so in terms of the numbers, but just to the feeling. You're like, all right, guys, we can get this done. We can make things happen. It's not going to be easy. NAVI, they can band together and make these sort of plays. It's going to be so tough, though, because top lane Crystallize getting punished yet again. Still just level 4 on the Drow Ranger at 7.5 minutes in. Chew, he's got nowhere to run either. Just a level 3 Dazzle, all on his lonesome. Same time down bottom, Moon gets in on top of the Enigma, and it just doesn't stop. Tigers, relentless with their fury.
And Meepo's gonna have a blink dagger level 10 or almost. It's 8 minutes in. He can hunt the Storm Spirit, or he can hunt anybody on the map, really. The supports on the side of Navi are gonna be so limited. This one's looking real rough, Owen.
It is. And sort of the worrying thing for Navi is, I don't think you can attribute it to say, they managed to get a Meepo pick through the draft. This is, sure, the Meepo, he's having a great time, but the other lanes as well. This is much more than just a Meepo problem this game.
Mm-hmm. Blink dagger already done. Time to hunt.
As Navi,
they're gonna have to set up.
They have to perfectly use their silences to sort of set up something huge.
I think they just have to sit behind people. They have to be prepared immediately for someone to get dove, but Meepo's gonna kill them. He hits the 3 Meepos already with a blink dagger. Those poofs, it's gonna pretty much one-shot anybody this early in the game.
Yeah.
As soon as he gets on top of them. So they have to have people prepared. I think this Earth Spirit or Storm Spirit just have to pretty much be ready to take these fights whenever possible.
That's mid lane. Playing it safe.
Gets the Gust off.
Gust comes out and Arjit will be dissuaded from diving further for Crystallize. Crystallize is trying to find somewhere to find the solo XP tech, get him that level 6 online. Top, they've got the opening onto Zephyr. They're coming straight away, but he turns with the avalanche onto the 2 of them. They're going to roll forward, look to commit for the kill. Zephyr's going for the TP out, he makes it away.
And now Ajit's going to come in.
Oh, and he's going to look for the cleaner. Magical will TP out. Seneca will not be quite as fortunate. Chew does go for the self-grave and TP back to base to keep himself alive. But again, Tigers just getting these kills and not letting up any more to Navi. Blizzy to see 1437 invading the jungle, but even as this offlane Enigma, he cannot alone kill the CM. As 1437 is able to walk away, Arjit keeps the pressure on the tier 1 tower. The CM now in trouble though. The rotation from Magical comes in as he TPs down towards the bottom.
But because he has to move around so much in the storm, he can't lane versus Meepo. Meepo level 11 claims his tower already.
I mean, he can't lane against many of his moves now. As far ahead as they are, Boone. He'll roll out. In fact, he'll roll about. Maybe see if he can play around for Seneca long enough to get the kill. He needs a couple more bounces, but he's getting a little awkward with the angles. Still
Arjit's coming
able to create the distance, though, and indeed with Arjit jumping in, roots there onto Seneca. More guts and glory taken by Arjit.
And Tigers is relentless. So they're putting these deep vision immediately because they've already claimed the 2 of the tier 1s at this early game, 10 minutes in. It's a 10k gold lead at 10 minutes, Owen. Their Earth Spirit, he buys the tome, but I still don't even know if they're level 6 on the supports on the side of Navi because they're spending so much time running from lane to lane trying to fix the disaster that's happened.
Crystallize has got to be careful, but at least there's no Archie in the neighborhood. He's sort of the big initiator when it comes to diving towers.
I think he might go boosted travel on Meepo. With the pace that this is going, okay, win treads. Just kidding. He goes for the stats, but I thought he might just be able to apply pressure to all the lanes if he went for that. But they already kind of are anyway. As Zephyr now kind of claim this top lane, and Weaver's just kind of jungling, giving the Tiny the experience. So for Navi, they have to pretty much live behind people.
He's trying to lead in, see if he can go for the walk-in black hole onto Moon, and he does still get it off. Able to walk forward, he has the backup with him as Navi. They'll turn to look for a second, but Arjit, he's in with the push, straight on top of the magical Storm Spirit. Storm's gone. Blizzy, can he really set something up? They brought Crystallize in as well. It'll be a huge kill if they can find it, but there's one at the back of the Gust. Stopping the push for now. Can they kill this Meepo in time? The poison touch comes out. They can. They get Arjit, but they lose 2 more. As both Seneko and Blizzy have fallen. Wonder Kid striking back as Navi, they've lost 3. He's going to look to dive in for this. He can feel confident as he still has the ability of the time-lapse, but he has been silenced underneath the tower. It doesn't matter. The timing's still there for the time-lapse to come out as Navi effectively getting team-wiped by Tigers. Wonder Kid stays alive. 17-5. 12 minutes coming up on the clock. It's an 11k lead for Tigers. And Navi, try as they might there to sort of punch back on that bottom lane, they still end up losing everybody.
They literally had to bring everyone to try to just kill this Meepo, they have to expend everything. Well, they have to use the Black Hole on the Pangolier first to get him down, because the way Moon's itemized, we know he goes for this like defensive kind of utility build, with that Vanguard being tanky so it absorbs the spells, and oh man. They get themselves something here, but we see on that net worth, Drow Ranger, bottom 4, behind the support Tiny. Even the Enigma and the Storm Spirit, they're almost at the same level as that Tiny. The 3 cores on Tigers just running away with this game.
Yeah, they just absolutely crushed the laning stage, and they've got the perfect heroes to sort of keep ahead with that.
Yep.
They can make so many plays happen around the map, whereas for Navi it's a lot harder. They'll try, they'll roll in, they get the Magnetize out, Crystallize leading forward, Snake has to back away. They do have to lock down onto one of the Meepos. Can they kill off RG in time? They're trying their best, but they can't close the gap. As Moon's in with the Rolling Thunder, holding Navi away. They finally do get the kill on RG as he ticks down to the Magnetize, but they've lost 4. Make that 5 as Blizzy, held in place by the Avalanche, dies as Wonder Kid gets the triple kill. Every time Navi try and find at least 1 kill from Tigers, it costs them their full 5-man. As again, another team wipe for Tigers, 13 minutes in, 2 team wipes already. Not often that we see that sort of frequency of team wipes coming out of this early stage of the game, but we see it here. They throw everything in to kill off Arjit. They do get him, but it takes so long, and by the time that they have Moon, he's already in position to just roll around, create all sorts of havoc, as Navi just can't get past him.
They will get a kill in the meantime, though, I believe, on the Crystal Maiden. So while I think 1437 was coming back from warding expedition or going up to get wards, I think it was coming back because he plays some very deep. So they want to keep applying this pressure on Tigers. Panel said it, they want to be snowballing the game. Meepo is snowballing, but now it's not just a Meepo snowballing. This Weaver is completely out of control too. A Diffusal finished up already at this point, coming out on the carrier. So he can just go hunting by himself pretty much, looking for any of these heroes. Even a Storm Spirit this early in the game, his mana pool is not the highest. He can get burned down pretty quickly if he's disabled once or twice, if he zips in too far. Navi, I think the biggest thing is, though, just like defend their jungle. Have these wards positioned and have your TPs ready. You have to keep yourself a little bit healthy on mana and also with your ultis prepared whenever Tigers is going to set up for these dives for them to try to have a comeback in this game. But it's so damn difficult, really. 13k, 14 minutes. Meepo's at this incredible pace. He's going to be rushing that Ethereal Blade too to just get even more burst damage, protect his teammates too if possible, if they do get focused by the Drow Ranger. And we could see the pace up for a Roshan pretty soon too. They get another fight win like that, 4 heroes wiped, they'll go straight into the pit if Meepo's alive.
Oh no, top Seneko. He's been found out. As the movement from Tigers comes in through the jungle, they know that Chew's around in the trees as well, as straight up with the root from outside of the trees, they get it out onto the Dazzle. Chew surrounded, he'll go for the self-grave, but the Frostbite's there to hold him down afterwards. As again, Tigers cleaning up kill after kill, 24/7.
Immediately, they run for Crystallize. He shows himself for a moment. Zephyr is trying to get on top of him with the haste, but Crystallize will hide himself in the trees, at least, and survive for now. As 1437, his job is just to run around placing these wards, just so they can see wherever this Drow Ranger's trying to catch up, because they know Navi's just on full-blown recovery mode.
1437's found him. Frostbite buying some time, the rest of Tigers starting to head over. Can they close the gap? Moon trying to jump down to the lower ground with the shield crash, doesn't quite make it, so Crystallize will be able to walk back to safety and into the arms of Chew.
Magical's trying to get some farm up. He's increased it a bit here, almost with the Kaya finished on level 12. Then he can always have mana to be at least like going for those contestants whenever Tigers does go for those deeper plays. It's still so damn difficult. Tigers they have so much map control here, and they're farming absolutely everything. Looks like Ajit's just going to finish that Ethereal Blade while 1437 continues being on this warding. Moon Meander farming in an aggressive stance, feeling very confident. And look at all that. The Obs and the Sentries, yeah, they're just completely trying to control and suffocate Navi off the map so that they can't try to catch up. Tigers knows how incredible of a position that they're in right now.
There's a 16-minute E-Blade. Picked up by Arjit.
Blink, E-Blade, Treads, and the triple Wraith Band.
And then Chew.
Unbelievable timing.
It's going to take a creep to the face. There's top lane. Seneko and Magical, they're trying to go onto Wonder Kid, but he's so damn scary. They have to roll away. TP out of there. Just get away from the big old bug.
They just make their way into the pit during all that too. They don't even have to go for a team fight wipe. Ajit's strong enough to be able to take it. Since he's the Meepo, he gets the lifesteal talent, and then he's able to do it quite easily. They even throw a freezing field on top to give him some assistance.
Him and that ages.
And that pace, we don't see Meepo too much, but it's that 1 level per minute, right? You want to hit level 25 roughly around the 25-minute mark in the game, and our Meepo, he's level 17 at 17.
Now he's having the perfect game so far, Arjit.
Yep.
May have died the 2 times, but both the times he died were fights where, as we saw, it was a resounding success for Tigers, despite his death.
This Drow is just never going to be able to catch up in this game. He has no place to farm.
Now stop Seneko. With the roll off, but someone's there waiting for him. It's Zephyr. The big old rock man. Tosses him back. Another kill, surely to go the way of the Weaver. Stick charges will buy some time for Seneko. Moon says, stop messing around, Weaver. I'm going to clean up the kill. Same time down bottom. Arjit gets himself on top of Chew. Crystallize. Oh, he's hiding. He's praying. But here comes Arjit and he's slaying. Triple kill for Arjit.
I mean, we've been saying it for a while, but this game looks impossible for them to really try to play, because they have to try to get farm on the map, but Tigers have controlled the map so well with all those aggressive wards that 1437 has placed, and just their constant movements.
I think it's going to come down to this with Blizzy. He's got the money for the Blink Dagger, obviously wants to get the 2 of them, just hoping for a Blink Black Hole that could maybe change sort of the momentum of it. It feels like it's their only chance now at this point.
It's got to get 5 heroes.
It's got to get 5. In this game, it's got to get 9 heroes.
It's got to get 9 heroes, but he's also got an Aegis, so if he does get caught, he's going to come back.
Middle tower is falling.
As full dominance continues, 1k gold per minute advantage on Tigers does not slow down.
No. Sorry, our maps is terrible. It's 8 heroes, isn't it?
Is it 8? It's 8 for now, right? Wait, it's 8 total, you're right. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, so
what if he gets what if he gets an egg?
Viewers didn't know. Yeah, yes.
There you go.
No, he's not doing that. I can't remember the last time I ever saw a pro ever get Aghanim something.
Same. Yeah, it's a dead item.
It's, yeah. If it didn't have to be in an item slot, then maybe. But it does. And
if you could eat it like a moon shard, right?
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool. Blink Dagger on Zephyr, he can look to go hunting as well now. He can't get this. Actually, this is only 974 HP if he's not on Strength Treads. He's got to be a little careful of getting comboed. Seneko will be trying to protect Ben.
Zephyr, but Zephyr quick with the blink. Not to be caught out by the rock. As here's Moon. And look who he's found. Rolling into Navi's half a town. As both Crystallize and Chew pay the price for being in the middle of the warpath, being stomped down by Tigers. It's 31-7. The slaughter never ends. 19k lead, 19 minutes in. As Tigers now ready to bring the fight to the next level. They're into the base, they're onto the tier 3 towers. There's NAVI. They've got very little to utilize in terms of holding. They have a black hole. That's pretty much their best bet at the moment. He's still yet to spend the money, Blizzy.
He's squishy too. He's got 1100 HP versus this high damage poke lineup that Tigers has drafted as well. They've got so many things that can just be thrown at him from a distance.
He's got to catch everyone.
Yep.
And Tigers unlikely to let that happen if the play is anything to go by so far this game.
They've even got a full Crimson Guard too, and just in case the physical damage will come through, it'll be blocked out heavily. But there is a good amount of magic on NAVI, but it's ever so difficult. It's magical. He's trying to do what he can to try to delay this mid push. He's cutting the creep wave in the mid lane. And they don't have creeps, so that will stop the push. Nice delay of game for NAVI. They just need to buy some time for some miracle to happen for this Storm Spirit to make it to the later stage of the game somehow. But he's versus Meepo, who, like we said, one of the better heroes. Especially once you get off to a good start, you'll have your Hex at a great timing. You'll have that E-Blade. You'll be able to hunt this man constantly whenever he shows himself.
Just getting so much out of the map as he pushes these side lanes out. Just any little bit of gold that could push Crystallize and push Magical just that further ahead, that sort of item up that could give them a fighting chance. But as it stands, every single flight, Tigers are going to come in a few weight classes stronger.
Yeah, Hex finished now, so he can kill literally anybody he grabs, but there is a BKB now on Blizzy. There is no way for Tigers to stop a BKB Black Hole.
Unless he gets the Basher.
Unless he gets the Basher. I don't think he'll get it.
Yeah, it's not until later. I think he got it like sick fighting in the game before. Let's Crystallize. Push the lane out as far as he can. Quick the TP's out. He's got the Shadow Blade and the Aghanims queued up this game, so prepared to sort of be pushed inside of the base, and now outside of the base.
Oh my.
But he's not dying. Argit is very tanky. He's got magical up too. They do finally get him, and Blizzy with the BKB black hole holds his ground, locks down Moon, but Moon already with the sort of the damage resistance from the Crimson and the shield crash, he just doesn't die. Blinks forward, a second shield crash finishes off Blizzy, and again, every time Argit dies, Na'Vi loses the fight.
Navi tried to make the big play though. The Aegis got reclaimed. They tried to make the move on the Meepo, but Tigers, they're in position ready for that one. Meepo buys back and he's ready to go. Now there's no black hole. Now there's no big team fight on the side of Navi to try to bring him down.
A 24k lead, and Tigers already back in position outside of the base of Navi. In fact, Zephyr, he's straight into it. Leads him with a blink dagger. May have gone a step too far though. Seneco's in on top of him. It's straight away in response. They get the sirens to cancel the freezing fall. They're looking to get on top of him. Dream the same, but disable with the vortex. They get the kill. No, Argit blinking in, ready to fight back and get revenge for his fallen teammates. He'll take down one, take down two, buyback for Seneco, but they're without Blizzy for a full minute. Magical has got the buyback. The Tigers themselves, they've also brought back everybody that can to keep this push going as the full 5-man. Na'Vi having to defend as 4. With the jump in again, Tigers, they're ready to pounce. Seneco being beat down by Zephyr. They've got the root, they have the Hex in control. Straight away, a Grave will be there to buy some time for Magical. He does get the zip off because of it. The Grave will keep Storm alive, but Argit and the team, they're onto the second set of racks, moving down this bottom lane. They'll clean up a full racks, 2 full racks now. As Tigers are ready to look for more. Magical tried to zip in, quick Born Lightning to dodge the avalanche. The Tigers, they're looking for the entirety of the base. Argit is eyeing up that top set as the weave wears off him. 10 seconds until Blizzy's back. How long until the black hole? It's still going to be a while longer, I imagine. Yes, still a full minute until that's there for the fight. And Zephyr just holding back Na'Vi. Blizzy's going to TP forward aggressively, but as I say, he has no black hole to offer. Only a midnight pulse. He'll drop it down amongst the racks, but the melee's already fallen. Crystallize trying to prioritize taking down Zephyr. They do get the vortex to drag back Tiny as Zephyr will drop. He's dead for 70. Can they get more? Glimmercape keeps 1437 the distance that he needs to get away.
Got the aggressive weave down 2 on the Meepo. So Tigers still back up for a moment. They've already done, immense game-winning structural damage. Storm and Drow behind the support Tiny in the game, and we see the 3 cores from Tiger just, skyrocketing. I believe, is Meepo 25 yet? He's almost there. Oh, 25 minutes. Level 24, pretty good. Argit 14-3 and 3. They've just had so much luxury in this game with the way they set up their lanes. Everything went perfect for them.
I don't think you can do a Drow strat against this team. And if you do, you just need some sort of earlier sort of fighting, some sort of, and they give wham bam. And they don't have it. They want to try and get Argit that 25 as impressively timed as possible, and it's certainly going to work out. He's going to hit it this sort of 25, at least 26 minutes in on the Meepo.
Last attempt of the game for Navi. They need to hope for something massive here.
They have the black hole.
Oh, 600 health now on the Meepo too, so he barely died in that last time. Thrown a little bit more HP.
They've got to somehow get in a high ground position and just hope that Tigers walk into their hands.
They've got ward down too, at least to watch Tigers, but the base, the bottom lane is being pushed in. Magical has to be very careful for that Hex coming out of Meepo.
As soon as they've showed, if they don't find something immediately, they cannot stick around.
Their base was all being pushed in too. I mean, it's 26 minutes, but there's 2 sets of Raxes pushing in already. So those creeps, they definitely cause issues, and they reveal whenever you try to make those type of smoke plays. As Tigers now, they're all grouped up. Roche is going to be respawning too if they really want to be super careful, but they can definitely just go for fighting.
I think you need to give these creeps to the Enigma maybe. Okay, don't do so. He's so close to having a blink. Sell something, just get that blink on you. Yeah. Get that blink on you so you can try for the big old play.
Just kind of need it. All right, round 2. Try to catch him outside the base before they get on the high ground setup. Moon.
With the smoke, they'll find Moon on the front lines. They don't want to commit a black hole onto him straight away, but they will jump forward with Magical. BKB's going to be popped by Blizzy. In your dream coming in for the side. Blizzy trying to hold back and wait for the opportune time to black hole. He'll pop it onto Moon. Moon gets the rolling thunder out there and will survive. The freezing field out. If they cannot get out, they've lost Blizzy, they've lost Seneca, they've lost Chew. They'll lose Crystallizes. GG is called. Tigers turning up to this best of 5 grand finals with an absolute whopper of a game 1. Not even close. They absolutely stomped NAVI here in this game. The draft played out perfectly. NAVI caught off.
More value last picking your mid here, but I'm not really finding that perfect pick. Look at Alchemist though. It's a pretty nice Alchemist game.
Why? Ooh, they could hustle too.
Man, they are just cheesing it up. I don't know if Navi wants to play first pick anymore against these guys. And they banned Huskar last game. They get meatbowed. Right? Or was that
Yeah, they
the
did.
previous series?
No, that was this previous series.
Previous series. I was testing.
No, Huskar was banned, but it was banned against by Tigers themselves in second phase.
Okay, so there you go. They get cheesed again. They hit him with the Gorgon's.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome back to the grand finals of the Corsair Dream League Season 10 minor. I'm ODPixel, I'm here with Fogged, and we're about to get into Game 2 of NAVI versus Tigers. As Tigers up a game, and coming into the second game, they're getting themselves another one of those very tasty 5th picks. It's a Huskar, and it's a pretty good game for it, Giannis.
It's a great game for the Huskar, and he's got backup too. He's got an Undying who can give him some heals. He's got Bloodlust. They've got strong lanes again on Tigers. Navi, they've got good team fight. That's the one thing they can come in again with the Phoenix, the Axe. But they've got a gyrocopter. I don't think I've actually seen much, if any, gyrocopter without the IO actually at all. I think there was maybe one. There might be one that we saw recently, and it was not.
I want to say there was one maybe in the TI group stages. I feel like that it's got, I'm reaching sort of that far back until I'm finding a game where we just sort of just a jar on its own.
Yeah.
But there's a reason why people don't like to do it. This hero has been nerfed significantly time and time again. IO, one of the magic ways you can sort of bring back that former glory of a gyrocopter. But without that IO by his side, it is not going to be an easy game for Crystallize. And down the line, when that Huskar starts walking around the map and coming down the lane of the gyro, there's not a lot that the gyro can really offer against a Huskar.
Nope.
It's pretty much all magical until very later points of the game.
If the axe can actually have a decent time and he can get to the point, if he can get the blink and the blade mail, if he can, which is going to be very difficult because he's versus one of the harder counters in the lane, the Undying, he just got to keep getting his strength decay down. And Weaver, you have high physical damage and you have the bugs, which Axe doesn't really enjoy much at all in the laning phase. He gets kind of owned by it. So I think the big thing to look at for Navis is really the Axe, the Phoenix team fight, and the tiny rotations on Chuvash. I think the other ones are going to be really difficult for them. I think Gyro and Storm Spirit are going to have real tough games.
Well, here we go. Let's get ourselves into the action. Game 2 of Tigers versus Navi. Best of 5, of course,
30 seconds.
in the grand final.
And it's a core ogre, like they were saying. It's core ogre and support leader. We've seen Tigers do this time and time again.
Then they absolutely crush lanes with it.
Yeah, and especially versus a Gyro, whose damage is very low, like 40-something, very low 40s base damage versus 61 on Ogre, who also has this incredible thing called 8 armor and huge health and incredible HP regen, so you can soak those barrages up very easy. So we'll see if Navi can actually pull this one. They're bringing 3 to secure these bounty runes. Moonman is just going to walk in. He didn't get it.
You didn't get it.
Takes a decent amount of damage here, but, you know.
Not on the rocket barrage, but...
They've got
with the wrap around from Chew. That'll
All
it. Alright, that's a way to sort of help the Gyro have a bit of a better time than the Gyro should in the lane, give him first blood.
But Lina got pushed. I thought Lina was coming in to give a hand, but Lina got pushed away, I guess, by the tiny rotation, because Zephyr had stun, must have used it to try to secure the rune, or to secure the rune, and then couldn't get close to Moon Meander. Alright, good way to start off for This gyro still should be a pretty tough lane unless they keep 3 heroes consistently down there, which they're not. Phoenix is going to go top. And Blizzy, we already see what 1437's been able to do in this Undying throughout this entire tournament. Just spam those decays, hit level 2, probably get a kill immediately as soon as he gets Soul Rip. I've seen him do it actually like 4 or 5 times in this tournament when he just hits 2, gets that huge nuke that comes out. This mid lane, Magical doing great for the first wave in particular, but it will get worse and worse.
Yeah, it's not going to get any easier.
Yeah, and you see 1437 taunting.
Trying to get the creeps re-aggros, but they are going to stay on Blizzy for now. Blizzy able to salve it back to full.
He's lost a lot of strength already, though. In mid lane, we see the Storm Spirit dropping low. 1437 with a very nice deny there. And you will get the creeps pulled onto the camp, too. 1437 playing this perfectly.
Yeah, destroying sort of any attempt from Blizzy to make that lane a little more manageable. That's mid lane. Magical.
Oh,
Magical. Alright. Not first blood, but a kill in that 1 versus 1 in the middle for Magical. He just kills the Huskar. That shouldn't happen. But it did.
He just got out-clicked.
Yeah.
Too many right clicks built up. Ajit playing a little too over-aggressive. Gets punished.
Bottom lane, though, we're seeing Crystallize getting severely bullied out of this bottom lane. He does have the salve to get him back up.
Yeah. It's nice that Magical gets a kill, but the lane is still the same problem. It's still incredibly difficult for Storm Spirit to really get much out of that. He had to expend so much mana to actually get that kill too. Constantly using those remnants to get that overload procs. And I see that I think Gyro went for missile, and I think I saw them kill it once or twice already now too with that Lina plus Ogre.
And his top lane as well. We'll see where sort of Blizzy does decide to put himself as trying for those creep cuts have not proved to be successful. Does get the call onto 1437. A couple of spins could set them up for a kill as he tries to chase down the Undying already, though. He's lost Seneko. 1437 heals himself back up with the Soul Rip. There's a lot of creeps hitting into Blizzy, but Blizzy, he's losing strength. He's getting body blocked perfectly by 1437 as Blizzy, he'll get another call off to give him an extra bit of armor. Trying for 1437. He does get him as he spins to his death. They take the trade. Blizzy falls, but he gets the kill on 1437. So at least something there for Na'Vi before the axe dies.
Magical's getting completely pushed out of lane, though. Like we said, he got the kill. He secured himself even a regen rune, actually, at the 2-minute mark, which is going to be really nice for him to jungle. But we see Ajit controlling the lane positioning. 14 and 10. See Ogre, we already talked about Gyrocopter's low base damage. Even though he gets the kill at the start, he's got 9 last hits to 15 and 7 of Ogre. This is like the best rune that Magical could have gotten, though. He's going to be able to clear out a good amount of camps and at least keep relatively close in that net worth, but Huskar is going to out-level him quite hard.
Oh, bottom crystallized.
Was it a toss-back?
They get the kill onto Zephyr. So Na'Vi, they are finding kills on these side lanes. Up top, Seneko on top of In Your Dream. He's trying to hide away in the trees. He's ticking down low. Seneko goes for the TP out. Will get away before In Your Dream's able to turn and get the right clicks in. And does still have the branch of 3 tangos. He's going to get some more regen sent out to him as well on the Weaver. Salve and Mango coming his way.
Trying it again.
See?
Ooh, doesn't get the toss back this time.
Na'Vi, they're holding on in sort of these opening waves of the laning stages. The mid lane, certainly where we can expect to see the Huskar become this ever-growing power. It'll look to be in a game where they get him for his 5th pick, as he is getting uninterrupted farm.
And look at poor Blizzy. Like, this is the axe that usually ends up dominating pretty hard. He can't do what he wants to. He can't cut the creep waves. They're trying to get these trade kills onto the Undying over and over again.
They may just get him. Nice Soul Rips there. It's now their turn. Look towards Seneko. Seneko in trouble. Will fall. He's trying to chase Blizzy, looking for 1437, but 1437 taunts his way out of there. Blizzy pops a stick charge, but just slowly being right-clicked down by In Your Dream. He's on top of them with the Shikuchi. Same time down bottom. Toss back into the setup. They'll get Moon. Chu will tick out to the Ignite, but Crystallize. Can he get more out of this? He's got stick charges, but will not be able to follow Zephyr with another Rocket Barrage. But 5 for 5. Tigers still leading the way with 1,000 net worth. So nothing as sort of uncontrollable as game 1.
Not yet.
It's not as bad.
Not as
Game
bad.
one was pretty bad.
That's very true.
This isn't as bad. It's still not great for Na'Vi.
Yeah, it's still very, very costly. They don't get any of the bounty runes. I believe Tigers claimed all 4 of them. And the 2,000, it's like a 2,000 gold lead. The experience is probably pretty high up there too, though. And that's very early in the game to have that much of an experience lead. With your Huskar getting a full free lane, the Axe just getting bullied as well. One nice thing is that Weaver's last hits are getting slowed down a bit, but he's getting kills time and time again.
Ooh, Snako again. Able to TP out just in time as he gets gone upon.
Oh, we see Magical. We saw him he was farming the small camp earlier. Now he's still only level 5, just trying to get anything he can because he just has to jungle. And the rune actually spawns top. Unfortunate for the Storm Spirit as well, so he wanted to be able to fill up his bottle.
And this armlet timing for Arjit is going to be very fast indeed. He's got all these sort of early strength items, so
Yeah.
no sort of threat of being bullied out of the lane by any rotation from Na'Vi at this stage.
And it's similar movements from 1437 again in this game. They're feeling confident. They're getting these aggressive wards down to watch any type of rotations. 3 deep wards. They know Storm's going to be jungling for the most part, so he just wants to be able to keep tabs of this. Magical actually goes top and gets the haste rune. That was left there for the whole 45 seconds. That's nice for him. Bottom. Moon. Ooh, they killed a missile this time.
They do just in time. That will keep Moon alive.
Separate. Will be okay.
Ooh, he's going to try and turn. They get the light strike. They're looking for the kill onto Chu. And won't quite get it. Another toss. Zephyr still got the sail ticking as he's chasing down Crystallize. Getting on top of him, but the rocket barrage and the analyze. That's going to get Zephyr straight up killed. Totally overestimating his potential to burst down Crystallize, as there's more than enough time for Chu to come back in on top of the Lina and set up for another kill for Na'Vi on this bottom lane. Top lane, Blizzy. He'll kill off the Tombstone, get himself a bit of extra gold, but it will cost him his life. There's more kills going the way at the Weaver, 3-0-2 in this top lane for Tigers.
I think the big win for Navi right now is how well this bottom lane is doing. Honestly, Chuvash as well as Crystallize are having a pretty damn good time. Already level 5 on this tiny, level 5 on Crystallize, and Tigers, they're overstepping their bounds a little bit too much, particularly on that Lina, like you mentioned. He walked into melee range versus a gyrocopter. Gotta watch themselves. But once they get their level 6s, once they get their levels built up, they have so much high burst damage that Crystallize has to be careful. I think the drum might be a suitable item, or maybe just a casual bracer. He needs some type of raw HP on this gyro so he doesn't just get multi'd into Laguna or something along those lines.
Magical. Quick dodge of the light strike array. Still, as the time ticks on, Huskar is going to become more and more of an issue, still unanswered. They're not looking to do anything about him, of course, at the moment. And the question is, when can you start to sort of see a time of this game where they can actually tackle the Huskar? Like, is it when you get to the blink on the axe? Like, at what point do you actually say, well, let's try and do something about the Huskar situation?
They have to hope he overcommits, to be honest. Oh, did he take the centaur? I think he may have.
He got at least one of them, yeah.
Oh, man. Moon again?
Again, Crystallize. And Chu.
This bottom lane is owning on
Crystallize, he's got 4 kills already on a safe lane gyrocopter. It's 8 minutes in and it's 2018. That's top lane, Blizzy. Charge for the call onto in your dream, but the Wonder Kid's already out.
It's really important for Navi to be getting these kills on the gyrocopter too, because the gyro and the axe, they're their big physical damage to actually deal with the Huskar. So it looks like he is going to go for that drums build. I like that. I think drums and even like a raindrop, casual raindrop could be things that save him in case they just display this high magic damage, which they will be able to do down bottom.
Because they've got good sort of ways to mess with the Huskar whilst he's slowly killing them. You know, they have the Avalanche, the Call, the Vortex, the Homing Missile, the Fire Spirit, Supernova. You know, fair few ways that they can make it hard for Arjit to sort of fully commit without being worried about being just sort of shaken up and held back.
Definitely.
But it's not going to be easy for Navi.
No, especially not when he's got buddies around him. When he's got the Undying and the Ogre standing in the front line, it's tanking the brunt of the force. It'll make the Huskar's life a bit easier, and he's, super farmed. The Weaver as well, having a great time, but it's really Crystallize and Chuvash, which are the standouts for me right now for Navi in this laning phase. Even though it's a 3k gold advantage for Tigers, this bottom lane's doing much better than I'd expected.
Well, another time, looking towards Moon. Light Strike does come down, though, onto Magical. Magical still with a bit of health left, ready to play. Zips forward, they get the kill onto Moon once again. As Moon dying over and over again on this bottom lane.
Yeah. I think Gyro's almost got the same net worth as Weaver. Magical's getting caught up too because he's able to control almost. I think he's gotten like almost every single rune too on this Storm Spirit while he's moving around the map constantly. Now with an Arcane rune, he's going to look to threaten bottom again.
And for someone that's had to lane against the Huskar, he's certainly done the best alternative. Heading out of the lane, farming him up as quickly as he could in the jungle. Now looking to make the plays across the map. Can't commit to the dive for 1437's life. His backup's there. Moon and Wonder Kid into the lane, chasing down Chu. The Fire Blast is there for the setup as well as the bugs, taking down his armor. The Tigers will come in with the reaction. Get another kill for the Weaver. Magical, he's starting to wrap around behind on the mid lane, but not really anything that he should jump on here, as he will just zip straight past the Huskar. Get a couple of waves, or a couple of creeps at least from the wave on the middle lane before moving up.
This gives him so much space though. Like Tiger's rotating out of top lane. Now Blizzy has 1300 gold. He might not go for the hood first. He might just try to rush that blink because of how much space he's been given to farm now. Very important for them to get this blink timing. If they can get it, if they get on top of the Huskar, they can close. They have a lot of ways to control him, like you mentioned. Magical, very low on mana here. Might just have the DP. Yeah.
Is he actually okay though?
Yeah.
He's absolutely not. I mean, this is a Huskar that just got an arm there. He's going to hit you so darn hard.
Oh no.
Oh, and the aggressive tip as well. I like it.
He did it. Magical did not do the math there.
Radiant's middle tower's not
As they sandwich now on the mid lane, place more aggressive wards down. And with that rotation, that's the one thing the Tigers did. They may have rotated out of top with the Weaver, which gives space to the Axe, but at least they claim that bottom tower.
Dire's putting the hurt on Radiant's middle tower.
More money for Arjit's Huskar.
Yep.
Carrying the game in game one as the Meepo, and looking to do exactly the same this game two on Huskar.
And they're just so adamant about keeping the pressure on. That's what I've been seeing about Tigers. Like a lot of teams at the tournament, we saw like RNG, like a couple of teams, like they just want to take it to the later stage of the game. But Tigers, they're very much so just about the pressure. Suffocate your enemy team as much as possible. Get deep wards down and just keep showing yourself in the lanes. Keep passing the river. Keep applying that pressure. As top, Lina.
Oh, same time down bottom, they tried to go for Chu, but Chu's out of there. And indeed up top, Zephyr. Oh, nice dodge with the Icarus dive. Seneko gets the kill. He does have a TP. He can get out of there. There's no one around at the moment. He's knocked two away. He's got to go for the TP though, and indeed it will take him back to base to safety. Down in the river, 1437 being chased down by Magical. He's got enough mana left to keep going for this one. The tombstone will be dropped, but Magical gets the kill. He's not messing around. Quick zip and a TP away. Na'Vi leading in kills this game at the 13-minute mark, 10-8. Overall net worth still favoring Tigers with that 3k advantage, and of course Huskar still in the dream position.
Top lane, I think the Lina almost killed the gyrocopter, right? I saw Crystallize drop to like 10 HP or something. Zephyr used the Laguna on him. But they commit forward. They're able to at least get themselves that one kill up top, as well as in the river bottom on the two supports. And they get some aggressive wards down, while Seneco's making his way up there. Small little gains, much needed though, as now they do have Blizzy's Blink Dagger, so making these moves is going to be a lot easier for them.
I think, even if the Axe dies, if you can just sort of have that disabled time to allow Na'Vi to get kills in return, especially if they can get him onto the big heroes like the Huskar, it's going to be worth it.
Yep.
Just having that catch.
They might just make their way into the Roche pit now, but Na'Vi, they throw the scan out immediately.
Okay, they've got good heroes to sort of disrupt this, as we say with the Blink on the Axe. They have the Storm.
They have great ways to kill the Roche though on Tiger.
They don't have Supernova. And indeed, Roche is just getting completely shredded by this lineup of Tigers. There's going to be no time for Navi to have a look in. That's a Huskar at the top of the net worth by quite some few thousands of gold. Now holding on to an Aegis as well at 14 minutes in.
So much damage coming through. They have Bloodlust, they have Huskar, they have the Bugs, and they have Flesh Golem. So that Roche dies way faster than Navi can try to contest, especially without Phoenix Egg, like you said. And they had all their lanes were kind of pushing in onto their side too, so if they did try to make that rotation, Tigers might just set up for a fight. And they are very ready to fight with this Huskar at the top.
Let's see if there's going to be anything that Na'Vi can do to push this back at all at the moment, trying their best to farm up elsewhere on the map. Magical going to look for the creep cut in the mid lane. You've got down bottom, Tiny looking to pick up some farm, and at the same time up top, Blizzy's trying to do the same.
They glyph. They don't want him to cut the creep wave there. Just trying to slow them down at all. Crystallize. Spotted by 1437. He is intimidated by this Undying because he knows he's not going to be alone this time around.
They can secure the space around the top two runes. They'll grab those. Down bottom as well. Tigers, again, 4 bounty runes. The Tigers, despite Na'Vi getting themselves out of the map, not in position to contest any of those runes. Mid lane, Magical, continuing to cut the way. 1437 is going to come along with Moon, but again, good awareness from Magical. Straight out with the TP.
Similar to the last game, right? Navi's just trying to delay, try to get themselves that farm up that they desperately need. Just push out those side lanes. We see Tiny's position bottom, Gyrocopter's top, Storm Spirit's mid.
Yeah.
They're not really looking to take these fights, especially not versus an Aegis. They're just trying to keep these lanes forced out, get themselves some farm so that they can even try to take the fights later on. Because right now, they just need more time.
I get this is the good thing sort of about the Storm this game. Magical can do this. Sort of the biggest threats are being set up upon by a Fire Blast or a Light Strike Array. But he's keeping it safe mid lane. Oh, the Axe tries to jump in, but Blizzy gets the call off a little too late. They do kill the Aegis, but the timing, he is going to get hit by the Supernova stun, but he's at full health. Not a lot that they could do about that. Arjit's going to continue to stand his ground.
They're going to go bottom now on Tigers. The line's already been drawn by 1437. They don't want to try to commit for high ground. We say it a lot. First Aegis, map control. Second Roche, Aegis cheese is when you try to actually set up to break that high ground and end the game.
Went for quite a big zip out here. He's utilized half of the mana pool.
And they know he's here. They saw him coming out even with that ward they have placed behind the tower.
Na'Vi, they have to be careful. Any sort of misplay could be deadly. But I mean, that play down the middle lane, it ends up all right, right? Sure, you lose Blizzy, but you do take that Aegis away, so they can't push for high ground, at least with the Aegis at this point. You take that, don't you? Throwing away your Axe's life to get rid of the Aegis?
I think it's just to get some more farm. I think to get rid of the Aegis is fine, but they don't really want to go high ground on Tigers yet with Aegis. It's a little bit early for them, even with this Huskar and with this lead. And that's their blink reveal. That's the one scary thing. Is like now they know 100% Blizzy has that blink dagger finished. But they've got to try to slow down. They've tried to slow down the pace of Tigers so they can get this farm up, at least get the BKB finished on the gyro. I believe Chuvash already has blink now on Tiny too, so they've got double initiation now on their side. They've got the Axe, the Tiny, so they can at least jump to try to slow down this Huskar. But there's a lot of protection, and there's other things you do have to be wary of. Sure, it's a Huskar who's super farmed, but this Weaver is no joke either. He's got Dragonlance. He's getting close to that Diffusal Blade too. So we can't, when you start thinking so much about it. They get the call.
They do Blizzy. He's in. The control's there with a follow-up Chew Avalanche.
So they're addressing. At least they're able to find this Weaver. Like I was saying, when it's just a Huskar, it's scary. But when there's a Huskar and a Weaver, you have to be sure you focus your attention on both. And they buy more time for Crystallize to farm. How close? Do we have the Halberd now finished, I'm assuming, on the Huskar? Definitely a Halberd game. Oh, he's actually going to be going for the Lance. Okay, the Pike build.
Radiant's top tower's under attack.
Or did he already finish the Halberd? No, he didn't. Okay.
I'm just getting this tread done.
Yeah, Halberd usually one of the better choices, or one of the really good choices versus those Gyrocopters or any of those ranged heroes, and it's probably top two Huskar item in general. Not quite able to close the gap onto Crystallize.
Dire's bottom tower's under attack.
Magical still on recovery mode. 3-1 and 0 after that really rough lane. Had some nice rotations.
I mean, yeah, for a Storm that's had to start the game against a Huskar, it's not a terrible position for Magical to be in. He's keeping himself up there on par.
And they found themselves nice. We see the gold lead. It's starting to shift a tiny little bit. And now, while they know that Tigers are starting to split up, they want to look for some plays with these double blink daggers. There's only 2 heroes here on the side of Tigers. They do have the Ogre kind of rotating over.
They're going to try. They get the jump, and straight away Choose on top of them, ready with the follow-up disabled. Do they have the damage to bring him down? Magical, in with the Vortex to drag it back. Archie is still alive. The tree comes through. They get the kill. They kill the Huskar and the Tombstone. Let me see if they can chase for more. Wonder Kid does it, the backup coming in. Tigers, they're bringing in Moon and Zephyr, ready to turn this fight around as they found the Phoenix. And Crystallize gets the cooldown. He's able to flak as well. A lot of damage flying out from the Gyrocopter. 1437 still alive with the Soul Repeal coming in for onto himself. They get a double kill for the Weaver, but Na'Vi, they're striking back. They found 3, and they knocked out Magical. He's in with the control. Vortex owns the Weaver. Na'Vi take 4 kills from Tigers. As Moon, he'll hide, hope to survive in the pit, but they'll find him as well. Triple kill for Crystallize. Na'Vi very much with a chance this game.
Beautiful move. They identify that there's only 2 heroes there. They do this double jump. I see the Axe jumps forward to get the Huskar, and Chuvash, he makes so much space on the side, controlling 3 heroes' time for such a long duration that Crystallize, he's just sitting there, popping his flat, getting all the damage out. That was a really well-executed fight by Na'Vi, even without having the Phoenix, having Supernova be able to start that fight.
They can kill the Huskar.
They absolutely can if he's isolated.
Diffusal Blade now picked up though by Weaver. Tigers still continuing to rack up the items. Once Arjit does have the halberd, it's going to be, you know, those sort of situations even more unlikely to happen. One sort of missed right click and suddenly that Huskar's turning around and taking you down with him.
Yeah. But we see the effect of what happened in that bottom lane, right? We see that Moon, he's 1 in 5. He's behind the Tiny in net worth as his core ogre. And this gyrocopter is super enabled. He's got the drums, he's got the phase, he's now got BKB finished, and he's level 13. Chooses to go for that damage talent as well. He knows HP is not what he needs.
No, you're gonna
damage.
Yeah, if they're on top of you, you're gonna die. You're just gonna make sure that your positioning is absolutely perfect, and then you can get the right clicks out.
And they've got the blade mail now too on the axe, so the damage that can come through from that, extremely threatening for a Huskar.
And I think still sort of the problem for Tigers is their sort of catch, it is the Lina and the Ogre. They've got to sort of run in with these two heroes. Other than that, Na'Vi have the ability to run away, get back up in. As we're seeing a game where, sure, you know, Archie, he had a free lane, he's been in the top of the game, but they're against a Huskar, and the Storm and Gyro are still having pretty good games.
That's very true. That's a good point, actually. The catch is pretty limited on Tigers. They now at least have the Yules on the Lina, so they have the counter, like the blade mail
that's big, yeah.
on the axe, and they have actual ways to catch heroes. Tigers, they force the issue a little bit here. Stormster, we see Magical. He's not really near the fight. He's starting to port his way down in. The Tombstone
should be able to farm it up.
Snake,
he's going to get the supernova off though. Can they kill the egg in time? They're trying. Moon punching in. They do get the egg. They take it down. But Gyro and Crystallize moving in with the BKB. Archie tries to jump in, but he loses his life immediately. They've lost the Huskar. They'll lose the Ogre as well. And Na'Vi aren't done. Zephyr will turn for the TP. Does he manage to get out in time? He does not. Blizzy in with the dunk down. And on the side, they found the stun. The missile connects. They're on top of In Your Dream, but he gets the Shikuchi out as the avalanche ends. Hiding in the trees. They're hunting. Will they see him? He's going to go for the TP out. Is there any sort of AoE stun to catch him? There is not. So In Your Dream will escape. But Na'Vi, once again in these fights, they are managing to kill the Huskar at the start of it.
And even if the egg, sure, he gets stunned, the egg gets killed, it's that distraction. It keeps Tigers there for just a little bit longer. They have the BKB on the Gyro, so he can actually turn, he can try to man-fight this Huskar, and it works successfully again for Na'Vi.
It is.
They claim a gold lead.
It's got to be scary for Tigers. You have this lineup with the Huskar. You do not expect to be even against a Storm Spirit Gyro cause at 23 minutes in. This is Na'Vi. It says less than a 1k advantage. It's more than that in the game, because this Huskar should not be in a game that's level in terms of farm.
No, and look at this. The egg comes out, forces attention to it for a couple seconds, gives more than enough time. Look at all the control that comes out onto Ajit. He just gets stunned all the way to the point where he's down to like 300 HP. Wonder Kid already has to start retreating from the fight. And they overcommit a little bit too hard. And again now, a catch top. As soon as they're splitting up, this Storm Spirit has so much mana to work with now.
Honestly, I really can't just emphasize how well Magical's played this game. Like in so many situations where you see these sort of games happen, and the Storm, he feeds at least sort of 2 times in the lane against the Huskar before it's like, I can't be here. But Magical, he's done none of that.
Yeah, he moved around great. The bottom lane was, I mean, this performance from by Chuvash and Crystallize in the bottom lane just is allowing them to be able to take these fights, because their big team fight is mostly around like the Gyro and the Axe inside the beginning of the game, but then they're starting to get more like the Blink Dagger and the Tiny. Team fights get easier and easier.
And I think sort of you do look to sort of your side lanes as Tigers and say, should we really have died that much on the bottom lane as this Ogre and Lina? I think, you know, Zephyr and Moon, we've seen some great games with them, as I said at the start. We've seen games where this matchup crushes a lane. They did not this time round. They gave up kill after kill, as now Moon does manage to get himself on top of Seneka, but Seneca's got the egg. He's fine. They'll have to start retreating. Lots of TP's work forced out by Na'Vi. They won't quite be able to catch out Tigers.
Crystallize going the perfect items to this game that, you know, just a little bit of HP in the beginning with the drums. Phase with Zephyr gets caught magic again.
He's starting to get the ball massively rolling with the Bloodstone and with the Kaya. Let's see what they can find here. In Your Dream, just find him. He's got, just goes straight for the zip TP. There's nothing to cancel it.
Just that limited catch. As soon as Lina's dead, there's only an Ogre really for that stun for them to provide. And again, the blade mail.
Oh, Blizzy.
To follow up at Chu.
I mean, it's crumbling. It's really crumbling for Tigers. It just seems weird to see from them, because the Huskar had such a great opening. He had all the farm, but it's as if Tigers, they're not really prepared, or or know how to actually sort of utilize that powerful Huskar against this lineup from Na'Vi. They're trying to make moves with him, for sure, but at the same time, we've seen sort of 2 times where the Huskar's been on the front. They just don't sort of have that reliable backup. You know, there's not a Huskar. There's not a Dazzle. There's not an Oracle in this game. The best sort of save they have is a Soul Rip. And then in terms of sort of disable and ways to keep Na'Vi off it, there's a Fire Blast and a Light Strike. If those spells aren't used perfectly, Na'Vi are going to be able to fight. And once again, Magical, zip straight in. They're on top of the Huskar. The Spirit Vessel down onto him as well. And with the BKB on Crystallize, he's straight in on top of him. They get the kill onto the Huskar. There's going to be a buyback from RG as he's TPing in to the mid lane. He wants to desperately try and fight back. Blizzy stands his ground, beats down the Tombstone. They've lost the Phoenix, but the taunt, the spins, Blizzy, he'll bring down the Undying with him. Tigers, they have to try and punch back for more with that buyback from RG. And Your Dream chasing down Crystallize. He's got Magical by his side. Is there anything Magical could do to keep that Gyro safe? There is not. So Tigers will be able to at least trade, take core kills with them. But there's a buyback on RG. Crystallize, he's got the money, he's just invested in the full MKB. That fight being without that MKB on Gyro, next time it's going to be there. And RG, he's not going to have a second life next time round.
Yeah, I mean, he desperately needs BKB just for the control that's coming out from Na'Vi.
Magical, just a bit of a poke. Nothing more. And he is a little low on money. He's still got 1 charges. And Your Dream recognizes that they are going to go with that buyback straight into Roshan. 10 seconds and Blizzy's back up. With Shu and Magical, can they disrupt this attempt long enough to buy time for the Axe to come in? It's pretty low. They could certainly look for a zip steal if they time it right, but they're not going to. Tigers, they'll get themselves the Aegis onto Arjit. Quick blink away from the Tiny.
They have a full Aghanims on the Weaver now. That can actually really turn the tides. Na'Vi has to commit their whole BKB timings to try to kill this Huskar.
Yeah.
Now if he just gets time-lapse in the fights, can change everything. And this is the big momentum now for Tigers, is they have the Aegis Cheese. That's their big timing they always want to be playing around in this game. Na'Vi, we see though, they have so much overwhelming control inside of the fights. If they're able to actually keep this Huskar locked down, we could definitely see them being able to take these fights.
I mean, as you said, this Aghanims, this is the save that they needed. They had the Soul Repeal before, now with the Ags, that can make all the difference. You know, that's sort of your Dazzle or Oracle in the situation that allows Arjit to go in as hard as he wants to.
Absolutely. And it's like, a lot of the thing about Na'Vi is it's all about this flak timing. As soon as the flak is popped, the BKB on the Gyro, they have to take the fight. If they don't win that fight in that timing, and Tigers has even this the Weaver and the Huskar alive, it could be problematic for them. And they have Aegis and Cheese to work with here. Blizzy is in position to try to set up for something here.
No, he's got to
cut the wave.
Okay.
I believe, yeah.
They are already heading back. You sort of saw there from the Lina. Zephyr knew that this play was going to happen, so he already sort of came back to join the creep wave. Blizzy, he's got Blink back up. He's able to create the distance. They didn't get any damage onto him, so Blizzy's able to blink and TP out from the trees, despite Tigers turning and trying to chase him.
Wait, did he miss the stun after the Yules? It looked like, right? I think so. But he gets away. He's going to survive. Now they can set up to this defense. They're even split pushing bottom on the side of Na'Vi. Magical's trying to cut the wave again. And he actually finds Zephyr while doing
Zephyr, he does. He comes in from the back and they get the jump in the blade mail there as well. Arjit, can they kill him? The ones. Oh, that time lapse will keep that Aegis safe for another push.
That was so close. He was in dunk range for a second there too. Blizzy unable to find that opportunity. Now they know. Ags Weaver is another thing they have to be prepared for.
They do have ways to get into the back.
They do.
Magical can get around there. If they can sort of find, the Tiny or Axe in position for the back, they can do it. Magical actually going with a big zip. He tries to come in onto the Huskar. Arjit has a homing missile heading his way as well. Magical down to about half mana. Choose coming in as well with the Shadow Blade. Could look to find the positioning to get that jump on the Weaver. They have to find the Weaver if they want to fight. But of course, you can expect to see this every time. Tigers just keeping the Wonder Kid at the far back of the fight, making it so hard for Na'Vi to get that jump onto the Weaver and make sure those Aghanims time-lapse saves do not come into play.
Like you said, they have a lot of ways to do so. I think the biggest or best one that they can do later on is now when the Storm can go for either Orchid or Hex, so he can just throw one little slight disable to stop this Weaver from going for those time-lapse, and then they full commit for the Huskar. Absolutely everything has to be thrown on this match.
Because looking at the Weaver, we don't have any sort of defensive lines right now.
For now.
The Diffusal, the Dragon Lance, and the Aghanims. Yeah, he's going to look to get that BKB next, but yeah, at the moment he is still vulnerable if they can find him.
It's going to be a lot of coordination that Na'Vi has to do, but we've seen them at this tournament have incredible coordination. I've seen them time and time again, their axe calls, their silences, always being on point. They're going to need it this game. but they're able to stall it a lot, though, right? They're in versus a Huskar lineup. It's already 30 minutes in. Gyrocopter's keeping at pace with the Huskar, too.
I mean, the fact that we're seeing that in a game where, you know, it is the gyro without the IO. I don't think there's any other teams, if any, sort of in sort of the top realm of Dota 2 teams at the moment that would just, if you sort of, you know, turn up to a draft, get that ending pick, the Gyrocopter, and just go for it like that, have that sort of faith in it. But Na'Vi did, they had a strat and plan. The call so far is looking good as mid lane. Blizzy gets the call onto the 2, the setups there for the quick kills onto both Zephyr and Moon.
Build up those Bloodstones.
He's up to 20 Bloodstone charges.
Now, they can, when they have all these charges, they can constantly look for the split push and the gold lead, too. Look at that, it's 5k. Now they have the BKB on Ajit, but Na'Vi, every time Tigers splits up at all, they have so many ways to hunt them on the side of Na'Vi.
And this becomes, you know, it's an increasingly harder game for Tigers to play, because when you sort of turn up with the draft as they did with that 5th pick Huskar, I doubt as a team you're really thinking about playing from behind, playing from being 6k behind this Gyrocopter and Storm Spirit lineup. You expect to be ahead at all points, and with the way that the game was starting, Tigers, they would have certainly seen that it's like, hey, this Huskar's getting all the free farm in the world. We're against these cores that can be punished by a very farmed early game Huskar. We're going to be fine. But now at this 31-minute mark, mid-game, coming into late game stage of the game, they've got to come up with a new strategy, because this Huskar is no longer the beast that you sort of hope for him to be when you picked him up 5th pick.
And they're trapped in their base. When they have like their Aegis and their cheese, they're trapped inside of the base because the pressure that Navi's putting out. Now there's a full Orchid, level 20 on Magical, 8, 1, and 6 on this Storm Spirit. Na'Vi.
I don't think they could have sort of played this game any better so far, Na'Vi.
No.
It was not an easy draft to play.
Definitely not.
The panel, they all went with Tigers. I don't blame them. You look at this lineup, the way that Tigers played in game 1 as well, you can certainly consider that if they can sort of run over a team that quickly with an outdraft, why would they not be able to do it again? But the answer this time around is Na'Vi threw something different into the mix. They threw this gyro pick in. It's something that we do not see ever really on its own, but Crystallize is making it work big time as he's getting those items. Tigers still, though, they do have the ways to force the fights as they're straight down the mid lane. RJ onto the tier 3 tower. At the same time, Magical, he's looking for a bit of split push on the Storm. He's actually taking a tier 3 tower down himself. And now back off, go for the TP back to base. Fireblast comes out onto the Phoenix, but not enough damage to kill him off. Snake will be fine. Jump forward. They get the call onto the Huskar. The Supernova as well. RJ's gone. He was silent. He couldn't get the Aghanim's time lapse. Injury could not get the save as Tigers, they've lost 3. Na'Vi, they're not done. They want to make sure they clean up the entire lineup of Tigers. They have lost Blizzy, but this is what I'm saying with the axe. It doesn't matter if he goes in and dies, because he can set up the rest of his team for glory. 1437 will escape, but again, Na'Vi holding these defenses, and that silence onto the Weaver. Perfect play yet again from Magical, making sure that this big item, the Aghanims, cannot be there to save that Huskar.
Yeah, just perfect coordination coming in again from Na'Vi. Just these simultaneous jumps they're able to cause. Just catching Tigers. Tigers, it seemed like that might have been a little bit of a desperation push, and Na'Vi just completely smashes them all the way up to 13k gold lead now, getting more and more items displayed. And Magical, 23 Bloodstone charges on this Storm Spirit. Look at that mana pool. 61 mana regen. Na'Vi seem to have thwarted this Huskar.
It's Magical. Silence onto Moon. Quick zip in. There is an Aghanim's time. That's from the Weaver, saving Moon once. It's not going to be enough to keep him actually alive for the full duration as they zip in, kill him off. Full set of racks taken by Na'Vi on the top lane, as they are certainly sending the message to Tigers that they're going to have to try something else. The Meepo pick may have sort of phased Na'Vi and got that game 1 win pretty securely for Tigers, but Huskar, as it seems, is not going to cut it. Na'Vi with perfect ways to play around him. And as I sort of keep addressing, this was not a Huskar that struggled at the start. RG was sort of comfortably by a few thousand sitting at the top for the first 10-15 minutes of the game. It didn't matter. The way that Na'Vi are pulling together as a team and giving us, without a doubt, the best Dota that we've seen so far from Na'Vi at this LAN. Yep. They're making this Huskar lineup just look looks so weak. It just falls over in every one of these team fights.
Yeah, and they have 21 deaths combined bottom on Tigers in their bottom lane. 21.
He gets broken straight away with the BKB crystallized looking on top of them. They've lost the Weaver. There's going to be no Agnim's time. That's BKB's out from Archie. He's going to try his best to fight back as Crystallized is focusing the Tombstone, keeps his distance away from Archie. The BKB now wears up for the both of them. Magical zipping straight back in. Has he got the control? He's being fire blasted, multicasted, fire moon, but he's in. The vortex comes out. Archie will fall. Double kill for Blizzy again with the call from Blizzy. The triple kill from the axe. The zombies do kill him, but Tigers, they get team wiped. NAVI doing it time and time again in this game 2. As game 1, many people may have been quick to write NAVI off in this series, but with a performance like they have shown here in this game, who really is the stronger team out of the two of them?
Just great execution inside of all these fights. Blizzy, time and time again, getting the two-man calls. We've seen what he's done on his axe previously in this tournament. He recovered so well in this game after that laning phase. He got the blink dagger at a good timing. And like I was mentioning, there's really so much that is coming down to this bottom lane that happened for Tigers, right? Like NAVI being able to get so enabled on this gyro. This Tiny also level 22. There's just so many deaths between this Ogre and the Lean on the side of Tigers that it's given NAVI so much to just take over this game.
Yeah, you look over at Crystallize, it's, you know, he's chilling.
He absolutely is.
11-1 and 18. He has the butterfly on top of the MKB. He's got 1,400 gold on his way towards the Satanic. I mean, Gyro, I mean, as we said, I don't know when the last time we saw sort of a Gyro pick without the IO. I don't remember the last time we saw Gyro without an IO have as good of a game as Crystallize is having here. Like, this is an insane Gyro performance. There has been no other team in sort of Dota 2 at the top that's been able to pull off something like Crystallize's this game.
Yeah,
in at least a year.
Not recently.
I mean,
yeah.
Sure, back in the days of the ho-ho-ha-has, the trolls, the snipers, gyros, sure. You know, this was sort of another day in Dota 2. But nowadays, you do not get to see this at all.
You'd imagine too, like you look at the score and you see this Huskar as like 3 and 6. You'd imagine he might have had like a rough start. He did not. Storm 11-1. He did not. Tigers now all about this final Roshan as they've lost. I mean, a long time ago they lost complete control of this game, but now it's desperate moves they need to take. It's just getting harder and harder and harder versus Navi's lineup. Your timing window has disappeared as Weaver's farm is completely stopped too.
And then Blizzy! Straight into 3-man call! 3 dead on Tigers as Blizzy once again.
GG.
Oh, you gotta tap out after that. You have to tap out after that. NAVI, this game 2, as I said in the game, the best showing from them here so far in a single game. This was an incredible performance from them, and against a draft that the panel all said.
Something that can match the timing, right?
You just pick Ember, really. You just pick Ember because it allows you to stay aggressive. You don't really feed to anything except for the axe call. And while you lose, it's a very skill-based matchup mid. But if you get 1 kill, it turns things around. And there we go.
Holy woly, he did it too. He did it.
That means that you're going to be able to predict who's going to win, right?
Holy. Bulldog, you're up first though.
Golly. Yeah, I switched seats.
This is very easy, honestly. I see a core ogre, I vote other team.
This is very easy for me. I see what Bulldog does. I do the opposite. NAVI is gonna win, or Tigers is gonna win. Tigers is gonna win.
You know you've been wrong so far going against Bulldog, but sure.
That's right. Slack, stop making faces.
Can you please be serious? This is a grand finals
I'm
panel.
thinking. That's my thinking face. I don't do it often.
That's not your thinking face.
Resting crazy face. NAVI.
That's right.
10 seconds.
The last time I went with Cal, we lost. I'm gonna go for Navi as well.
Suckers. I'm taking all the glory of this.
Oh, let's see what's gonna happen here in the third game of the Grand Final. Of course, our Dream League Season 10 with Odie, Pixel, and Fogged.
He's been absolutely destroying every single game. As soon as he gets Blink Dagger, he always seems to find the catches. He's like Blink, Blade Mail, Shadow Blade build, and he's done it like every single time. He just always seems to be in the right place at the right time to find all the pickoffs. And they've got Magical on his best hero, right? His Templar Assassin has been absolutely phenomenal. We'll see how this matchup goes, though. The mid matchup for me is going to be a big thing that dictates the pace. Like the panel was saying, skill-based. But the thing about Ember Spirit is in the mid game, you're able to hunt the TA a lot if your team's able to set the pace and look. And this time, too, now they have stuff that can actually hunt and catch, right? The last game, they just lacked so much catch to really do anything. Sure, they had this Huskar lineup that just wants to kind of like ball down and end the game, but now this Ember Spirit can at least try to set up ganks on the sidelines.
And I'm liking this a lot better as well. We've got, 1437 back on the leader.
Yeah.
This was sort of the combination that we talked about that has succeeded in their laning stage time and time again. They switched it around, obviously, last game with 1437 playing the Undying, which is fair enough, but then you sort of put Zephyr in that position on the Lina, where he certainly did seem comparatively more uncomfortable on that hero compared to the 1437 Lina performances we've had before.
He was, uncomfortable. He was extremely uncomfortable. He missed time after time. His light strike arrays were off the point. Even after like a Yule set up into like a stun, he'd miss it. In the lane too, he like ran into the gyrocopter. There was a lot of things that Zephyr had trouble with in the last game, and we've seen 1437 had great games on the Lina.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
So this Wyvern pick too, the Wyvern versus the Chen can be really strong, but that's where I think also the Gyrocopter can also have its strength. Gyro versus Wyvern is something we used to see in the past when Gyro was very popular. You can't really cold embrace targets because he just does majority magic damage. Meander.
Will be sent away from the top bounty room. We're going to see down bottom. Arjit's able to get himself in with the Shikuchi, take that rune away from Blizzy. So across the map as it is, 3 bounty runes to start off going the way of Tigers.
I'm just looking forward to see what this top lane can do again. So if 1437 and Moon can make the difference in comparison to Ogre or Moon, Meander, and Zephyr versus the same lane composition.
We'll see how much of a difference that player swap does make.
They know that this courier snipe is coming. The Chen is in position for it, but Tigers, they are prepared.
Yeah, they shouldn't fall foul to this.
Really, coming out, Magical.
Getting a fair bit onto the TA, punishing, of course, whilst level 1 with just the side blades and refraction.
Yeah, he killed the whole enemy wave without a single one of his creeps dying initially, but now Magical, he gets all 4 last hits. And Zephyr, he's looking for the courier snipe himself.
And he's going to get it.
And is the Chen.
Oh, it's absolutely beautiful. I've never seen that before. Both sides losing their couriers in perfect harmony. A win for the teams and a loss for the animals.
Whose was more important? TA had the salve on it. I think the TA's was probably more important. Yeah.
Yeah, he's only got a shared tango and a fairy fire Magical.
Yep, Ember already has extra tangos, so. But Magical, as we said, skill-based matchup. Magical's been absolutely amazing on this Templar Assassin already. 7-3 last hits. But let's be careful here. Oh.
He's got to be really careful. Just that shared tango and a fairy fire. Another ping comes out.
They want a rotation.
Yeah, they bring the Wyvern back over.
Yeah.
That's top.
Moon.
We go on to Moon. He has got the missile bonus where they try for the toss back, but it's not going to latch onto the hero. Just a creep. So Moon will be fine.
Magical, getting pressured. He's got to get sent home. It takes quite a long time, but he will be able to get the hell out of there. Sent back and saves his TP so he can TP back to the lane nicely. And that's actually kind of like a reset. He can pick up some regen if he needs it too. So that's very useful coming out from the Chen. And we see Blizzy down bottom, haven't really paid much attention to the bottom lane, but he's cutting creep waves, having a hell of a time. He's not versus an Undying this time that just chases him, spams decays. So Blizzy again, going to be set up for success.
Top lane. Good bit of a harass here onto Crystallize. Light Strike won't catch him though. Just fast enough to keep the distance. And with the salve popped up, back up to full, and in fact down bottom, it's Zephyr. He tried to come across to disrupt this from Blizzy, but Blizzy ends up getting the whole wave and the first blood. He's salving up as well, so it'd be good to stay down here. You can't afford to just hand a free first blood kill to an axe that's cut in the creep wave. That's a big no-no.
No, definitely not. And Zephyr really has to step it up. In the last game, he struggled as the Lina. This game gives away the first blood to the... Yeah, like you said, that axe.
You can't do that.
No, he definitely cannot.
But he did. And he's going to come back into the lane onto mid. At least make sure that Wonder Kid continues to have a great time top lane. Chew does get caught out by the chain stuns, but
We're seeing this lane go completely different already.
it's so much stronger this time around for Tigers.
The Ogre Lina, it should do very well versus Gyro, like we were saying last time. Just Navi, they must have had some like incredible. We saw a couple of tossbacks from Chew on the Tiny, but this time around, going to be a little bit different. But Blizzy, he's
nearly
a
level
hood.
5.
He has a hood coming out on the courier.
No, he does.
He has a full hood on the courier.
Jay, you mean a cloak, right?
No, it's a full hood.
Oh my goodness.
It's 3 minutes in.
3.5 minutes in! He's level 5 with a hood top lane. At least Tigers may be able to find themselves some positivities. They'll take down Crystallize, but 1437s have to die for the tower for it. So he'll die. Choose
And
there.
Moon might go down too.
Chew still got the combo. He's got the
back.
Avalanche, a toss back as well, and the Moon. Fire Blast, trying his best to run away, but Crystallize back in the lane. Won't look to commit. Homing Missile still on cooldown for 8 seconds, so Moon will be fine. But oh my goodness, Blizzy.
Massive.
Absolutely massive. Hood at 3.5 minutes in, that's unheard of. I know this is going to be the fastest hood we've seen on an axe ever.
It might actually be the fastest.
3.5 minutes Hood of Defiance. And level 5. In a couple more waves, he's going to be level 6. You can't get this axe out of the lane. Top lane. A light strike onto Chew, but the backup's there from Crystallized. In fact, they're looking to chase. Avalanche Missile comes out onto the Lina. Crystallized getting himself on top. They take down 1437. Moon's got to be careful as well. But the tree comes out, smacks him on the back, and Moon has to head back to heal. He's mid lane. Set up with the chains, magical. He's going to look to just sort of chase this down, trying to get the angle with the side blades, but Wonder Kid keeps the distance and will be fine. Only just though, going down to 30 HP. He's down to the last tango and a Fairy Fire.
And look at this, they're applying pressure with the Wildkin as well, so Blizzy's hurting the tower quite a bit here. As Ajin, he's had to use all of his mana to secure some last hits. They will have the Shrine available in about 5 seconds too, but those bounties, he wants to try to claim them.
He'll be able to take that. Well, actually, will he? Seneko, is he quick on the fingers? He's not. Alajit will be able to steal the rune. A little on the mana, so can't chase too hard. Is he going for another Shikuchi? He does not.
He breaks the clarity.
Seneko will die unless he wants to pop the shrine in the stick, and well, with that popped, he should actually live long enough for backup to come in, and indeed he does. Ajit has to retreat. The turn, he'll take the creep down. But Ajit will at least get back to safety. Doesn't get that kill though that he was hunting and hoping for. Mid lane CS at the moment. You see Magical leading the way 30 to 10, 30 for free, trading the CS pretty well, the two of them.
Yep, and they're ready. Seneco's, while he's been moving around between the bottom lane and mid, since you see he's only level 2 on the Chen, he's not able to really gank and set up since this axe is just cutting waves. He's stacking Ancients.
Look at this axe. It's what, 5 minutes in. 5 minutes in, and Blizzy, he's got the tower. Yep. He's got the tower.
The dream for an axe. Cutting and getting every single last hit and then getting a first blood. You can't ask for more.
I see that try to shoot. There's 3 heroes here from Tigers trying to make the go, but Crystallize, he heads into the midst of them all. He's only level 4, so not a crazy amount of magical combo that he can throw out. Chew's still alive for now. Zephyr from 1437, they'll look to die. Dragon Slave comes in. He needs another right click from Zephyr though, and Chew, he's doing his best to duke it out through the trees. At the same time, Seneko comes in with a wraparound on the mid lane. They'll kill off the Wonder Kid. Tigers do get the kill eventually onto the Tiny, but as we saw, they did lose that hero mid. They lost the Ember Spirit to a gank from Seneko.
See Moon tanking the tower, trying to make sure that he can protect that catapult so they can try to take this tower early on as well, since they already lost their tier 1 bottom, but they're all very low up here. And Blizzy,
he's taking a tier 2!
He's just keeping his catapult alive.
This axe, I mean, Blizzy, we've spoken to him a few times. He's a very cheery fellow, and I bet he's smiling his face off this game.
This is going to be an incredibly early Blink Dagger.
Oh my goodness, this axe. This is why they pick it first pick. I think you have to have something drafted to address this play, or you just straight up ban the axe. You can't let him have it. Blizzy just seems to have the freest game of his life. Surely it's not game over or anything, but this axe, you cannot emphasize enough how fat this axe is.
Yeah. In the last game, they did pick something to deal with him, right? They picked the Undying, which is pretty annoying to play versus an axe in lane and also in the game because the Tombstone. This time, though, it's a free farm axe level 8. All right, let's see what Blizzy can make happen with it, because their gyro this game is not out the same start.
Yeah, Crystallize is going to need help, but by all means, an axe with a good start, he's certainly the help that a gyro needs.
Sure.
That sort of jump and setup that buys time to keep people held underneath the cooldown. Chew does get found. Tigers keeping the 3-man up it. Will punish Chew. The cooldown does come in, so Crystallize will look to turn. It's Crystallize with the Rocket Barrage, gets himself on top of Moon. The stick charges will not keep Moon alive, and in fact there's a wraparound as well from Seneko. As Navi that looks to take more than just the one from this. The chase down onto Zephyr being proceeded on by Crystallize. Can they quite close the gap? 1437 goes for a light strike, but he gets dodged by Crystallize. They're still very low. In fact, they're going to send the gyro back. Seneco's still trying to chase, but the backup's there. Seneko won't find the kill onto the Leaners, but 1437 will be healed up. Fire Blast from Ogre holds back the Hellbear Smasher. They're also bringing the Ember Spirit up towards the top lane for that play on Tigers. But this is just more space for Blizzy. It's only 8 minutes and he's nearly got the Blink Dagger on top of the Hood of Defiance. And that is when he can just go to sort of any of these lanes, whether it be towards the mid to set up for the T8 or towards the top to set up for Crystallize, where they have so many opportunities to set up for kills that they're going to be so hard for Tigers lineup to punish.
Absolutely. And we were talking about the gyrocopter being shut down. Look at the Weaver, Ajit. He's been bullied. Like, he only has 37 last hits in the lane because this Axe just had such a successful time to just cut the wave, make this Weaver tank creeps under tower constantly, and then he just takes his tower. Blizzy is uncontested.
Yeah, this Axe has got the potential to entirely take over the game.
Navi, 2k gold lead. Crystallize.
They got the light strike. And pulling in Archit as well. Crystallize does get the cooldown off, and Tuesday with the backup. Crystallize should still fall for sure, and he does, but not before Navi get 2 kills in return. Double kill for Chew, good burst of gold for him. Blizzy, few more creeps, the Blink Dagger's already on its way out. So 9 minutes in.
Level 10 with a blink and a hood.
Has to be one of the best starts we have seen an Axe get.
I mean, he's literally above 500 GPM, so that's pretty crazy.
And he's already looking to make a move. They're not going to quite expect this. They're not going to expect the 9-minute Blink Dagger Hood Axe. No one does. There's Archit. It's a bit of a bait there. There it is. The avalanche into the Blink. They get the 2-man call, and it's 2 quick kills. And look at that. Respect from Blizzy as well, letting Crystallize take the kill on Moon. Doesn't go for the secondary dunk. He says Marjara needs the gold. He's going to get it. I'm a bro.
And where did the Radiant Courier go? Did it die during that? The Courier died. Oh no. Navi getting absolutely everything going their way this game. The Ember Spirit is the saving grace for Tigers, but the TA is having a perfect time, Blizzy.
Good luck with this.
He's got a hood, but...
He's got a hood.
They're right next to a shrine. Can they actually get this man? Nope.
He's got this backup as well. I mean, Blizzy will back away. He did have as well Crystallize and Chew. If they really wanted, they could have tried to force that fight, but Blizzy will play it cool.
All 3 cores at the top now as the gyrocopter. Yeah. Sure, he died top, but they got great trades out of that.
He was not in a great place in farm, but that one rotation with this Axe and bam, Blizzy boost Crystallize back up.
Yep, and Shivash as well, the Tiny, catapulted forward. We saw what he could do last time on the Tiny. He's already off to a great start too. Navi, 5k gold lead now. It's just accelerating faster than we can even see. Another ancient stack coming along too, so they can have the TA get enabled by that, even more so than he is already. Tigers with a very similar strategy to the last game, that's not having a cheese like a Huskar, but besides that the side lane's pretty similar. It's not working out so far for them.
I just really think that Tigers, if this game continues to go this way, the way of Na'Vi, they have to seriously consider if they want to let that Axe through the draft. Because even when they do have ways to sort of, at least sort of dissuade him from making these creep cuts, it just seems so powerful. And Blizzy knows exactly how to abuse it.
Every single time you see him just on the prowl. He doesn't show himself in lane at all when he's playing this.
Spin Your Dream comes forward too far. He's going to get caught out by a call. The spin's coming to play, and the dunk from Blizzy. Another kill for the Axe.
Hashtag Blizzy.
Hashtag Blizzy.
He's doing everything today now for his team, and they're even looking to hunt more. Chew.
Yeah, mid lane.
Toss back.
There they go. They've got the control. Magical. Has he got enough damage? It certainly looks to be it. Moon's trying to at least bring down someone with him, but the light strike from 40-37 will not connect. As Chew still alive. Hand of God heal comes through.
And they're cutting. Blizzy's immediately on the way in the rotation to try to get some more catch.
Oh no, here comes Blizzy. Have some mercies in. Cold embrace, doesn't matter as Blizzy sends him to a cold hard grave.
7k gold lead. It's just ramping up too fast. They need their Ember. They need this Ember Spirit, honestly, to just be running around making plays non-stop for the side of Tigers. The other heroes can't make the similar plays as this hero does. So I think the Ember has to watch how much he shows himself in lane for Tigers to try to have a chance here, but they're losing so much map control. They lose their tier 2 already at this pace in the game. 8k gold lead. Navi, their game plan working again this time around. And the top lane, you know, the Ogre Lina, they were off to a bit of a better start, but then some quick rotations coming in from a blink dagger on an axe completely changes everything. And looking at like this, you know, the thing is that with Tiger's lineup, they want to be off to a good start in the laning phase. If you look at Navi's, their heroes are fine with going in the later state. But Gyrocopter, if he can get out of the laning phase, he becomes very, very threatening. TA, sure, you have this like this timing where your BKB can start to tick low, but if you are able to farm Ancient stacks and get a Blink Desolator very quick time, look at the heroes on the side of Tigers. Who's the tankiest? It's an Ogre Magi who's not off to the best start whatsoever. He can just get brought down so quickly from this TA.
Oh, look at that goal for Magical. Oh,
he's going to be so rich. Seneko setting up those stacks. And look at Blizzy. He knows. He doesn't need to get more farm. He'll get farm from getting kills. Sit behind your cores, and when they try to make aggressive moves, be there for the backup. Such a great start for this axe. Tigers.
I mean, you can see Tigers, they know that
something's up.
Crystallize is sort of the easiest pick-off, but at the same time, they know that there's going to be some sort of trap set.
Yep. And they don't have their level 6 on the Lina still either, so they need that extra burst. They're giving 1437 the lane to try to get him that Laguna. They now have it for that little bit more burst damage. But they're not farming much on the map here because of this. We see Navi. Look at the way they're displayed across the map. Magical's just like cool. Farming Ancients. Mid, Chavash. Farming. Top, the Gyrocopter's still able to get this farm. They're getting so much more out of the map. Magical was just level 12. Now he's level 14 from farming all those Ancients. Great movements on the map so far by Navi, just controlling time and time again.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
They're still hunting on this top lane, the three of them.
Radiant's middle tower is not.
Now it's spotted, and look at Blizzy.
They're just collapsing in on this
Immediately.
Navi. They know this is a fight they can take, and look who's there. Blizzy straight in, two-man call. All the setup in the world that Navi need to easily get those 2 kills.
He's got a full pipe now on top too. So the physical damage is pretty limited on the side of Tigers. Now they have a pipe thrown in on top. That Ember Spirit, the Ember Spirit's not going to be able to do much of anything if the axe is there.
Magical's got a blink on top of the desk, so whilst this has all been going on, they're hitting all of their item timings at record pace, Navi.
They can look to do the Roche with just the TA and the Chen. The rest of the 3 can run around the map for Navi and look to get these kills. As it's 12k gold lead. It's getting out of hand. It's been getting out of hand from the beginning of this one. But it's getting even more so as Seneko, he will get spotted, going for some deep wards, and will be punished.
They get a chain, kill a bit of money for In Your Dream. But he's going to need a hell of a lot more to really catch up to the pace of the others. I mean, you can see just the difference in the mid lane at the moment. 4.7k net worth on Ember, 9k net worth on Magical, closing to nearly double the net worth that this TA has, as the net worth difference as a team just continues to drop so far away from Tigers.
And the experience too. I mean, it's 16 minutes in. That's an over 10,000 experience lead. That is something you don't see every day.
And Navi are absolutely crushing it.
Yep. And full map control when you have a TA on your team. Like we said, they have so many options that they can look to they can just go for the Roche with the TA and the Chen and have the rest running around. I believe the Tiny as well, Chuvash, now has a blink, because the TA was just ancienting for the last, 3 minutes or so, while he just farmed the mid lane. So level 8 Tiny with Blink. This core Ogre has a Vanguard, but he's level 7.
I mean, we're going to have seen it 2 games in a row, them trying to run the core Ogre. I know it's worked out for them in the past, but maybe against Navi today, it's not the way to go.
A miss by Blizzy this time around.
It's going to get Winter's Curse. Zephyr will therefore be able to TP out as Tune a little off the mark with the Avalanche. Zephyr's on the high ground. They don't quite know the exact position. But
how can Tigers take fights? They're just going to... Navi can just go on Rush Pit. With Pipe, the damage is just not there for Tigers.
The team fight from Tigers, it's that Winter's Curse. That is it.
And it was just used.
That is it. There's nothing else.
And they're not really that much physical either. The Weaver doesn't apply that much when he's into these type of heroes. Like Tiny and Axe, when they have this type of farm, they can just get on top of the Weaver and kill him immediately.
17 minutes in. Na'Vi, well, I'll tell you what they are. They're continuing to make that Drow strat look worse and worse, you know. Oh, bottom lane Chew. He's got the setup. And they got the dunk. They got the kill. I mean, this team game one. Remember how they looked when they had a Drow strat? You know, I'm saying that's the Drow lineup. So if Na'Vi have done anything, they've put in a pretty serious petition to get Drow strats buffed. Because they got stomped with the Drow strat. When they don't do a Drow strat, they are just absolutely walking over Tigers this series. Both game 2 and now this game 3, it looks like they're on a totally different level, Na'Vi.
Yep. Seeing Seneko playing his Phoenix, seeing Seneko playing his Chen, the two heroes that he excels at the most with his team, and it's working. It's working beautifully. And Blizzy, of course, I mean, we've already time and time again said how well this man plays the axe, and he's just taking it to a new level this game.
Yeah. And I think, you know, this... That's another catch. And Na'Vi, when we've been talking to them, they've seemed very confident. They've said that they have put serious amounts of preparation and work in before this LAN.
And you can see it.
We're seeing it all come together in this grand finals. Exactly the point where it absolutely has to. You know, one series away from securing a ticket to the major and taking away that first place grand prize here at the Corsair Dream League Market.
And look at this, they're constantly on the hunt. He's able to get the Remnant out. I believe he's going for the Maelstrom build first. They want to have some physical damage, or they want to have some actual damage to come out, but that's also more magical. And they're going to be playing into the Axe Pipe, which we already mentioned, and I believe Gyrocopter, very close to BKB. Same thing with the TA. You have to imagine these two heroes, they're going to go for those early BKBs. Game for Tigers looking nearly impossible now at this point, as they're just trapped in their base mostly. Look at the mini-map. They have the Weaver farming bottom, but everybody else is just stuck in the base, unable to farm and push out versus Navi's dominant map control.
BKB, Desolator Blink, pre-20 minute mark. You're going to be very happy as a TA.
Absolutely.
Very, very happy.
Over that 600 gold per minute mark. Yeah, he's doing great. Now we talked about Blizzy's item build. This time he varied a little bit, right? He went for the pipe because he realized how little physical there was and how all magical it was on the side of Tigers. Doesn't even care about the Blade Mill. He's just going for Shadow Blade. Go for that hunting. Just keep looking for those pickoffs time and time again. As they're going to just keep pushing all these side waves in, and Tigers just still unable to really find positions to get outside the base. Every time they do, that happens. And they tip him. So now they're looking for some type of plays with their three stronger heroes on the map, but Na'Vi, they're done with making plays. They're ready to close this game out, go to the high ground, get a pick off.
Straight in, that's a core ogre.
Not anymore.
As I say, I feel like Tigers, they've got to really change it up in game 3. None of this sort of, you know, repicking it. This ogre Lina lane, they've tried it twice against Na'Vi. It has not worked.
It's just not successful.
Sure, this game it was a little better than game 1, but it wasn't really a lane that would transition into a way that was going to be able to address the issues elsewhere in the map. As Blizzy making the lead in, making the call happen as they catch out Zephyr once more. Magical jumps in with the Melt Strike to bring down the Wyvern.
And Rocket hits the Lina. Oh, Chris Lance commits.
He is dead. He's got a buyback. There'll be a buyback straight away. Hand of God comes out from Na'Vi. They start to back off a little bit, but Blizzy. Oh, he's in again. The two-man call, setting things up, but he is getting punished. The Gunner Blade comes down onto him. Blizzy may fall. He's trying to back off, but he'll die. They get the big kill onto the axe. Can they get anything more, though, Moon? Trying to push them away, but they've already taken the range racks in the middle lane. As Na'Vi will not get the melee racks for now. The biggest kill we've seen for Tigers so far this game, and Magical, he's ready to go back in, jumps in onto Moon. Moon is dead for 35. They've got the combo onto the Emperor as well. That's 2 dead without buyback. The Winter's Curse could cause that map to die, but not Magical. He'll stay alive. The BKB in the mouth there. Sentry's going to be dropped down against the blink off as well. To destroy the right click from Arjun. Magical will survive. And they're back in. Desolator striking into this Rex. Melee racks will be claimed.
He's still keeping his Aegis alive. 40 HP. Oh my goodness. 22,000 gold lead. We're at the 1K per minute again. Aegis going to be reclaimed in about 8 seconds, and Na'Vi just continuing this beautiful display.
And if Na'Vi, as I say, with this game, pushing themselves potentially to 2-1 lead up in this best of 5 series. If they can repeat this performance in game 3, this is absolutely going to be one of those sort of finals that you can say, you know, Navi, when they turn up to the major, this is a team that can absolutely give the other people in the major a run for their money. It's not, you know, if they can continue to just perform like this in the grand finals of a minor, they're going to scale well at the major.
Yeah, definitely Tiger's going to have to go back to the drawing board, try to figure out something to do versus this Navi.
Yeah, you can't, as I say, let him have that axe. Blizzy just got so far ahead. He was set up for one of the easiest games he's had here at LAN.
Yeah.
As he has been so enormously massive. There's nothing that Tigers can do about him. There's nothing that Tigers can do about the team as a whole. It's 25-6, only 23 minutes into this game. As Navi look to take a second set of racks. They're ready to dive for kills if Tigers want to continue to find. Again, Blitzy. He's in with the control onto Arjit. Do they have the damage to kill him off in time? Cold Embrace will be there, protecting Arjit for now. They'll turn their attention towards Zephyr. Arjit will get himself back towards the base. There's 4 dead on Tigers, none with buyback. They'll be back up in about 10 seconds, 3 of them, but not before a second set of racks is taken from them.
You have to imagine they're just talking about the next game now. This game is absolutely out of the bag. There's no way that you can come back in this unless Navi does some fountain diving several times. They just have to go back to the drawing board, and I think they have to consider this axe ban and maybe change up their opener a little bit. It's just been an absolute treat for Navi fans in particular.
To do it sort of 2 games in a row
with a gyro.
With the gyro, without the IO.
Yeah.
At the start of the day, again, in the interview with Blizzy, he said they're just going to turn up and play their game, play their strategy. They're certainly doing that here.
Absolutely.
Just by picking this gyro, something that we hadn't seen from them yet, and showing us how well it can work, even when the lane gets crushed. This GG is called. Game 3 goes to Navi as they now lead 2-1 in this best of 5 grand finals at the minor. 1 game away for them from securing a position at the major. Tigers, they have to pick it up big time.
Absolutely.
2 games in a row where they've looked underwhelming. They haven't looked
If they pick Brew, they lose. Period.
They pick, they win. Calm.
Oh boy. In Joker.
This is where you choose your hero.
Invoker the Joker.
Into Silencer Huskar.
God,
I'm pretty sure Huskar destroys that hero 1v1, but it'll be an Invoker versus Storm matchup.
God.
It's a lot of pressure. I've been wrong every game. I don't want to break.
Oh wait, Navi, the Enigma's gonna be fine. Pangolier's not good enough to counter.
Yeah, I gotta go for that as well. Let's find out though.
Easy win for me.
It is Tigers with their backs against the rope. Will they force out that 5th game, or will Navi punch in their ticket to the first major of the season and take the championship here at the Corsair Dream League Season 10? Let's find out. Odie, Pixel, and Fog, take it away.
Let's see if they can do it. Navi up at the moment, 2-1 in this best of 5. This game 4 coming up. They've got themselves their hands on the Huskar. We've seen it already this series, obviously over on the side of Tigers. It wasn't successful. The question is, will Navi have more success with it in this game? What do you reckon, Fog?
They've got the Silencer Enigma combo. So they've got pretty much guaranteed black holes a lot of time whenever the global is getting popped during it. There's not really anything they can use to interrupt unless the Pango has a really, really good time, which it is Moon playing the Pango.
It is the Moon
That is
Pango.
the one big thing I want to point out for Tigers, that I do love the way they play with CM plus Pango versus that Enigma. We saw them doing it before. There's a lot of distractions. That's the one thing. Like for Navi, sometimes it's like a Huskar draft and you're like, all right, we just have to make focus of this Huskar. But we see right here, the Storm Spirit was right there. Storm requires attention. Enigma requires attention. You kind of have to itemize and choose and pick your battles versus this, which could allow a Huskar to be kind of left alone and be that big X factor in the game. So for Tigers, we're going to see what they're able to do here with a little bit of a different draft that they've taken approach to. At least in, they have their CM Pango, but they've got a Mirana now thrown in here too. They've got an Invoker that they haven't been spamming so much. So let's see how it goes.
That's in
Level 13 Invoker.
not bad. Not bad.
I mean, in your dream, right? That is that's one of the top 1 leaderboard players for quite a long time. That is a definite player with a insane amount of matches under his belt in those pubs. Definitely expect him to play pretty much everything.
Let's see if they can pick it back up, Tigers, off the back of having 2 very rough games, one after another.
There's so much damage on the side of Tigers right now, though. I'm looking at their spam ability with the Crystal Maiden that they opened up with, right? The Pango, the Tiny, the Mirana. Lots of different spells they can just throw out from a distance. Navi's looks like it all needs to come together during those big team fights. And Seneko, looks like he's going to die here.
Now it's going to be first blood. Moon. He'll grab it. Tigers off to a good morale boost to start this game for.
And Zephyr's Tiny was in my opinion, his best hero that he's played so far. He had an excellent move in the first game. It was kind of natural movements because they had this meepo and they just had dominant lanes, but he was able to run from lane to lane, put a ton of pressure out on the map. And this is a very successful, kind of approach that they've had in some of their games with the CM, the Pango. They have this dual roaming as well.
So would you, in terms of in your dream as well, this game, do you still go for the Quaswex, or because of sort of the heroes, do you look for sort of the Exhort build to sort of help kill these heroes like the Huskar and the Storm?
They do have a good amount of things to set up for. The thing is that then he can set up for the Storm very easily for himself, and if he wants to go for the Spirit Vessel build,
yeah, I mean, I guess you still don't lack damage at all, especially getting the Spirit Vessel against the Huskar. Someone's going to need to do it, and would certainly work, as you say, with the Wex build.
Yeah, he still does have a lot of good Sunstrike setups still around the map. I'm not too sure which one he's going to go for. It's probably Quaswex though.
We'll see how these lanes do go.
And it's Quaswex.
Yeah, they're going to have to imagine bring the Tiny down bottom, as Arjit is not going to have an easy time against both Chew and Blizzy.
No.
On its own.
Bit of a different approach this time coming out from Navi, right? They're putting the Enigma bottom. They're having a Huskar positioned in the top lane, and it's already working out. Look at those last hits in the first 2 waves.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want the Enigma in the lane against the Pango, because as we've seen, a couple of levels on the Pango, and every time the Eidolons are out, he's going to be able to clear them out and get easy gold.
So they adapted already, right?
Hang on.
We have a forgotten bounty. Bulldog is probably real sad.
That's a rarity. Yeah, someone needs to go grab that.
Yeah, lane swaps happening. They see Moon ports bottom. This is a win for Navi though, because now they just port the Enigma top.
I mean, that Eidolon's going to see they would deny it.
It did deny it.
It wasn't looking. So Tigers, they will get the bounty.
And they're a 1k gold advantage already because of that first blood too. And those several bounties that they were able to pick up. But the lane setups now looking pretty good for Navi, having that Enigma away from Moon Meander, and he can't TP back up there for 40 seconds.
So we can probably imagine that he will move once again after he's down. It's so profitable. There's Eidolons, they give you a good amount of gold if you can clear them out. And as we say, Pango, a hero that it's very easy to do so with.
Absolutely.
And you can never sort of allow the Enigma to get that Eidolon build up out and that lane pressure on, because he's constantly just losing his army to the slaughter of the Pango.
Yeah, they still do have pretty good ways to kill the Eidolons up top though. Between Crystal Maiden and Mirana, they do have long range attacks, but it's not that massive burst that just instantly one-shots them, so we'll probably see that change happening for Tigers eventually. First few waves commencing. Crystallize off to a great start. Enigma denying a ton again as always, but the Invoker in the mid lane, 12-6 to the 10-2 of Magical.
Of course, we can't forget how good of a game Magical did have, I believe, in Game 2 of the series on the Storm.
Can be a tough one versus this Quaswex Invoker, though. We've seen it a lot where you get EMP'd early on and your hero is not nearly as threatening as usual. You can just get chain control too. Cold Snap plus several little instances of damage. So he's got the urn. Can definitely look to make rotation. So we do have the swap coming out. I believe Pango TP top, and the immediate response Navi sends the Enigma bottom.
You have to.
Yep.
And as you said, because the Pango was waiting on that TP time, there was always going to be the chance for Blizzy to make the move exactly at the same time that he sees it come into play. So it's going to be hard for Tigers to really force this matchup. And each and every time, unless we see one of them walk from lane to lane, they are going to be able to react with that same TP.
Yeah, they don't want to make that like long walk, because then sometimes it can just be so costly. You miss out so much during the laning phase. That it's an Enigma who always will be getting something when he TPs, because he's just going to keep pulling the wave back with those Eidolons. And yeah, Crystallize, of course, TP's top immediately as well. So keep trying to get those lane matchups, but Navi keeps getting the ones that they want. But Tigers still have that 1k advantage because of that first blood and because of how, grabbing the bounty runes and even how well that mid lane is doing. Oof.
This bottom lane.
They get an arrow.
And you get the toss back as well onto Chew. If they've got the damage to kill him, but with Moon coming into the lane, they certainly do. Another swap. He's back. He's got that matchup against Blizzy. As Blizzy doesn't have a TP scroll at the moment. He's trying to make his way over towards the shop, I believe, to pick one up. But Archit's going to be there, blocking him off. They will throw the arrow out. They get the connection. They'll be able to look to punish Blizzy for trying to make that movement towards the shop. Swashbuckle gets only a couple of the instances onto it. So Blizzy will back off. Doesn't matter. Zephyr's there with the wraparound. And Blizzy will be punished. Just, as I say, trying to make his way to that shop and underestimating the chance for Tigers to turn and kill him with the 3 men down there.
Musical lanes, mid lane, Magical. Dropping low, has the bottle charges, will be okay, as there's no creeps to tank for this Invoker to go for the dive. She's 1437, the Crystal Maiden trying to position behind it, maybe try to catch this Storm Spirit backing up, it doesn't happen. They will spot Seneko though.
You can get the slow. Cold Snap as well. Seneko should be in a lot of trouble. Let the Alacrity on in your dream, and with the right clicks, that will be a kill. Seneko falls, more money for in your dream in this mid matchup. Same time, they also find Magical in the jungle. The movement comes in from Zephyr and also from Moon Meander.
Navi, they forced the matchups that they wanted to get, but the movement so far by Tigers, it's working out better. 2k gold lead already for them, 5-0.
Yeah, Moon, as we saw with that pass by kill on the mid lane, he was indeed making that walk up to top. He wants that Enigma's farm. He wants that Eidolon. All of them, every single time. And a quick hello. And Blizzy realizes he's suddenly again in the position that he doesn't want to be in.
I love seeing musical lanes like this. Crystallized now, also getting bullied.
Yeah,
Arrow gets tanked.
If they got the damage, they do. That's Crystallized gone. And Navi, they're looking to fight back. Look at the rotation from Seneko with the haste rune. He's able to beat down one. Can they get anything more from this? Does not look like it. Still, Navi are able to finally get themselves a kill on the board as it stands as 6-1 for Tigers. 2k lead as this game for Tigers looking to have resolved and figured out a much better way to start the lanes against Navi.
And they're having their Invoker off to a fantastic start. Since he's versus that Storm Spirit, he got off already on the right foot. Now he's level 7 to that level 5, almost level 8. He has phase boots finished, so very early phase. He's gonna have he can make runs around the map to start to punish the side lanes too. Probably wants to stay in the mid lane until he finishes the urn, but he's gonna have the options to make so many moves around the map. As they bring now 3 heroes toward the bottom lane, they're leaving the Pangolier in a 1v1 versus the Enigma.
Zephyr does get cursed. Get the arrow onto Crystallize, though. Zephyr turns with the combo, it doesn't matter. Crystallize survives, and Zephyr will be punished for getting a little too close to those in Navi. Second kill for Navi. Wonder Kid in the mid lane, though, getting more and more space whilst this attention from Navi is being focused elsewhere.
There's the Eidolon.
I mean, that's why you got to keep it away from him.
Yeah.
So much gold. I mean, over 100 each time from that quick burst. It goes the way of Moon.
Magical, though, since he's been jungling pretty much exclusively this Invoker. You saw what he did with the Catapult Wave. He alacrited it, but he also glyphed. Because Navi used their glyph to try to aggressively push this out and defend from the tower, he glyphs his Catapult, and look at how much damage. He nearly takes out the full tier 1 with the first siege. Very important for that. We've mentioned a lot of times. You take out these tier 1s early, you have these invasion plays to get into the jungle versus a Storm Spirit. Tigers, and look, this dual roam we were talking about, they want to set up the Pango on the 1v1, and then they can just start looking to make moves around the map. They have these 3 cores that can kind of hold their own ground in the lane. Miranda with leaps, Pango with his swashbuckle that he's constantly going to be using onto the Eidolons, and then Invoker with a good start. So deep ward's been placed down. They want to try to make sure they can keep tabs on this Storm Spirit.
They can just start this tower for the kill hit. That's Seneko. He's trapped. There's no escape for him. as Wonder Kid comes and corners him in the trees. Living Armor actually will buy him time. That's 3 NAVI TPs coming in. Wonder Kid will time with the tornado and keep them back.
And gets the kill.
And does indeed finish off Seneko now with the zip forward. Magical trying to find kills in response. Took the Moonlight Shadow, won't save 1437 underneath the tower. And NAVI finds something in return. Zephyr still hunting. Oh, we get Blizzy! Blizzy tried for the black hole, but the avalanche was already out. So not only killing the Enigma, but no threat of the black hole for a good couple of minutes because of that attempted play. Magical does look to strike back after losing the tower, getting himself on top. But there's the Pango play coming in from Moon. Rolls in with the Rolling Thunder. The toss combo's there as they punish the Storm for attempting to kill the Invoker. Tigers keeping a very good hold at the opening of this game for 9 minutes in. It's 9-3, a 4K lead for Tigers as they are certainly picking themselves back up after a hard game 2 and a tough game 3.
Can't believe it's already 4K gold lead for them. The 3 cores farming incredibly well. The Tiny as well. Zephyr, we were mentioning, this is one of his more successful heroes, and he's proving why. Making the moves around the map, punishing this Storm Spirit. There's so much control and so much disable coming out for Magical this game.
It's crystallized.
They're just threatening so much.
Being hunted, the Avalanche perfectly setting up the arrow, getting them around him. He's surrounded. Frostbite in the midst of the skies. As Crystallize taken once more. This is Tigers back at their finest.
Yep. And the Invoker makes his way down bottom. Make sure he picks up an earn charge. They're going to claim 3 of the 4 bounty runes yet again. So 5K gold lead. And immediately they go back to the lanes and they're hunting. Look at the Invoker top, setting up to try to find the silencer. It's a free kill on Seneko.
Oh. It certainly is. Cold Snap to cancel the TP, and Seneko's got nowhere to run. As Living Armor will allow some time, but In Your Dream finds him with the tornado. Perfect setup to get the kill. Mid lane Magical, toying with the idea of a bit of potential jump onto Zephyr, but the backup's there from Moon, keeping the Storm off from diving. At the same time down bottom, they'll look towards Arjit. He's got a couple of leaps to keep the distance. Drew's going to try and chase. Does have a fair few burning spears on him, but not enough to kill him. Survives on 43 HP and walks off.
And immediately, Tigers, again, relentless. Whenever they claim their advantage in the early game, they do seem to really want to press the issue forward.
Oh, the toss forward, the CM! Oh, he's out of mana. Has he got a swashbuckle?
The punch strike? Oh.
I mean, they've got him surely.
The Living Armor to the tree?
You gotta dive for this. He doesn't need to. The tree is enough. See if Navi can claim kills for this though, as Tigers have had to dive pretty damn deep for this one. Chu and Seneko, they've got the control and damage onto Zephyr. Zephyr will turn with the avalanche and toss. Does end up losing his life to the tower though. But they get Magical. Tigers just playing with the aggression that we saw from them in game 1, and it's keeping them comfortably ahead. This Invoker being set up for a fantastic game.
They're punishing the greed, right? They recognize Enigma Storm, pretty greedy, and then they also are just punishing the Huskar a bit too. Crystallize, unable to find any real safe farm. They keep threatening and setting up all these kills, and there's already going to be a Spirit Vessel finish now on this Invoker.
Just 12 minutes in. Crazy timing from In Your Dream.
Yeah. Moon keeps it just instantly. Eidolon show. He just uses both of his spells, clears them out very quickly. Gonna enable him to get that very early blink dagger so they can have a straight up initiator. Blizzy has the black hole available, has to make something happen for Navi, as they are falling further and further behind in this one. Crystallize just still unsafe, unable to find this armlet. It's not like an armlet's gonna make him just like a god hero, right? In this game, there's so much little disables. There's Tiny Avalanche, there's Cold Snaps, there's Crystal Maiden disables, arrows. There's so many different things that are gonna control this man. He really needs the armlet and then a BKB pretty soon afterwards, so he can not get just chain CC'd and be able to protect himself.
Tower looks to be disintegrating.
Such a great start for Tigers. 7K gold lead. Crystallize. They're hunting him again.
And they found him. The Frostbite, the Avalanche, all the disable in the world. He tries to jump away.
Tower is under attack.
But it really is, as you put it, there's just so many ways to hold this Huskar down. Make sure that he doesn't get the chance to fight back.
Yep. And immediately they always have their TPs ready too. You see Wonder Kid, he's ready, pushing out mid lane. He wants to prepare for top. Moon Meander might look to commit forward here.
Let's see what
He's getting jumped on first.
Yeah, they dive in. They're not going to need to use the black hole for this one, as they just beat down the Pangolier. TPs are coming in. Only one will actually continue though. Just Zephyr to come through. He's got the Moonlight Shadow. The throw out of dust doesn't clip onto the Tiny.
They pushed them off the tower, though, of Navi, and now the rotation's coming in. We see the rest of Tigers. They're at least 2 of the Tigers making their way up, but Navi, they've got everyone up here.
Let's see how they start the fight, Tigers. There's Magicals laying down the remnants on top of RJ. RJ quick with the lead pad, but the global silence is out. Navi looking to push forward for more. The overgrowth comes out, looking down RJ. The 3 groups up together with the tornado EMP. He's going to cause issues for Blizzy as he's got no mana. He'll pop the stick charges, but he's having to run away from Zephyr as the Tiny straight on top of him with the tree throw takes down the Enigma. Shoot. Will be able to hide in the trees. He's got full HP, so he'll be fine. So a quick 1-for-1. They lose the CM, but they get the Enigma and they keep that tier 1 tower alive, Tigers.
You can see how much emphasis they put on the tier 1 too. They started TPs, they canceled it because they got a little scared when Blizzy stepped up at the hole, but then instead of like going and pushing out the lanes or farming lanes, since they already have the tier 1s in those side lanes, they just run their way up there with their Crystal Maiden, with their Invoker. They do not want to give Navi any breathing room on the map, as they shouldn't. With this 7k gold lead, now they have a Blink Dagger on the Pangolier as well, so he got easier access into the back lines.
And also a really solid way of cancelling that black hole every time.
Yep. And Blizzy, he's going to go for the Midas again in this game, as he does pretty much every single time. But it's going to be very late, as he's been running around and just getting punished over and over again by Tigers rotations. Bounty runes.
They're going to look for it, but Magical. Frostbite. The arrow connects as well. Jump forward from Argent. There is a living armor giving him some sort of safety, but it's not enough. The right clicks from Tigers finish off the storm.
They might actually be able to claim all 4 bounties. They didn't. Navi did not take the bottom one either. So Tigers, I think they've gotten, what is it? I think like almost all the bounties this game, pretty much.
First close to it, at least.
Taking all the tier 1s, claiming the majority of bounty runes, getting deep vision down, and constantly putting pressure on and hunting this Storm and Huskar, who take a little bit of time to get online. Same thing with the Enigma. These heroes, they all do take some time if Tigers is able to get the lanes to be in their success, and they did, even though it looked like Navi had the position of swapping back and forth with the Enigma having successful. Just a couple extra moves and Tigers solidified the start.
They were trying to set up potentially onto Wonderkid down bottom, but the Moonlight Shadow being prematurely used to allow him to get out before Navi see an opportunity to break in. Tigers now popping the dust. They know that Chu's around here, but Chu's already hidden behind the trees and will TP out.
Yeah, they threw the scan, and then they immediately pop a dust to see where this tree is, but not quite able to. But because of that, they are able to, looks like they put more deep vision. So look at that ward control by Tigers. 3 incredibly deep wards just to watch any of the movements from Navi. And like we said, they just want to keep that pace up, keep the Huskar on the back foot. He'll never be able to catch up and never be able to actually claim a Roshan. It's 10k gold lead for them, and their team fight is very scary.
They're hunting down Magical. They've got the setup with the Rolling Thunder, the arrow, the Sunstrike, everything down upon him, and the burst is enough. Perfect setup from Moon with the Rolling Thunder as they take Magical off the map for 30 seconds, slowing down the farm of this Storm Spirit that's desperately trying to catch back up this game.
Radiant structures are fortified.
As Tigers taking over the map.
They look like a totally different team when they're playing this Pango type of lineup. Moon Meander able to get involved so much earlier.
Blizzy, does he want to commit for this? That's the question. He's got the black hole down, Sanctuary placed as well. It's a big kill if they can get away with it. The overgrowth and the jump forward from Crystallize will allow them to take down In Your Dream.
They used all their big ultis to get that kill. That is a whole, a tree ult, and the global. So Tigers, they don't rely on ulti so much. Pango is their longest cooldown. He can look to fight immediately anyway, even without it.
And Moon, he jumps in, quick blink out. Before any damage comes into play, and just have a bit of a poke at Navi.
But that's the way Navi can try to get back here. It's unfortunate they have to use so many, but they need to try to get some type of momentum going their way because of how much this Invoker and just how much Tigers is able to just run over them.
There's still a 10k advantage for Tigers.
Yep. Experience is probably pretty high there as well.
Chu is on the hunt. Oh, he's going to head away from the trees there, so revealing himself. Frostbite comes out. Moon leads in with the Rolling Thunder. He gets the living armor off onto himself, but with the freezing field, there's more than enough instances to burst through the armor and kill off the Treant. As Tigers now have that ward control over that area of the map, continuing to just take over those safe spots that Navi are relying on to find the farm to get their cores back into the game.
Yep, and they're making sure they don't get these wards dewarded either.
That was not a TP you maybe wanted to go for. As jump ball from Moon, it's not quite enough. The Sunstrike won't be on target. As Seneko very lucky to get away with his life.
It's just, we mentioned it at the beginning of the draft, right? Just there's so much poke and so much nuke damage that Tigers actually has in this draft with the Crystal Maiden. They're executing it to near perfection right now. 11k gold lead. Huskar still incredibly far behind. Same thing with the Enigma and the Storm. All 3 cores and the 2 supports just unable to really find any space on the map. Tigers just continuing to run around, just suffocate them. Don't let them catch back up. Magical. 2-5-1 in this game. Not even near the performance that he had earlier on that Storm Spirit. Just that lane matchup being ever so difficult and just the pressure they put on him.
Oh, and the Fansaneko tries to come out with a quick D-ward, but Tigers are in position to punish him.
He's trying so hard to get rid of the vision, but like I said, they're playing around their vision. They're playing incredibly aggressive.
And with this smoke, they may find more. Crystallize dangerously close to the whereabouts of Tigers at the moment.
They know he's there.
The pings come out, Crystallize has been found, the slow comes into play. He's trying to back off, but the tornado allows them time to surround him and take Crystallize down once more. As Tigers just keeping the flow going perfectly, offering no opportunity for Na'Vi to slow things down.
Nope. And immediately you see 1437. He's got all the obs and sentries just prepared. So he comes down, instantly puts a sentry on the high ground there. If they did have any ward there, I didn't see if they did actually. I know they had a sentry around there. He immediately takes care of it. And look at the map. Look, Na'Vi, they have like no vision on the map. They have 1 ward down in that bottom lane, which doesn't give the greatest amount of information. Besides that, the map is completely dark. They can't see anything, and Tigers are just freely running around. Besides Chu. Chu is scouting out a little bit here. But it's how much threat they really put on the map as they're going to claim 1-2 bounty.
What's up? Na'Vi, they do find Zephyr all on his own. Can they get him? Magical a little low on the mana. Has he got enough? The infused raindrops will be there to save Zephyr. Only just. Without that last raindrop instance, he certainly would have died.
And they claim all 4 bounty runes again on the side of Tigers. Like we said, I think they claimed like 90%, if not more of them so far in this game, just constantly. And they're ready to fight.
There's the jump forward. Moon getting the 2-man rolling thunder. Snako pops the global silence, living armor upon him, but the right clicks from In Your Dream are too much. They turn towards Magical as well, and with this insistent disable from Moon, there is no chance for Magical to play his way out of there. The Pango continue to be on top form from Moon.
You know, Tigers, they're doing this for everybody. They just like, you know what? I know the viewers want a game 5, so we're going to just come up with this beautiful draft. We've got our Crystal Maiden, we've got our Pango, we've got people on Comfort Heroes.
They're eyeing up top.
So far.
Do they commit with the Black Hole? That is the question. Blizzy's not going to.
They didn't get the overgrowth. Chu tried to do it from the furthest distance possible. It doesn't get the Mirana.
Chu, he's actually hung around here as the rest have already bailed on him. Chu's going to fall. Another pick off for Tigers. As Crystallize, he's still around. He's hiding. He's hoping they don't find him in the trees. Moon's hunting.
He's so close to... the one tree path he doesn't go down. Oh, they will be able to get out. That was extremely scary.
Yeah, if they sort of got vision for a cold snap, he would have been in a whole world of trouble.
Absolutely.
Crystallize lives to see another day. Obviously, with that movement up top, they were likely to have seen that Blizzy does have the Blink Dagger.
And look at the collapse. They've got all 3 lanes pushing in. So Tigers, they've just got so much more space on the map to farm as... Yeah, Na'Vi, they're just trapped in their base. Blizzy has a Blink Dagger, but he needs... Just like that other game, he needs some type of 5-man black hole to try to salvage this, because it is looking so troubled.
Oh, and outside of the base, Na'Vi, they're trying to fight, but there's so many heroes here. Crystallize dives forward, living armor's on him, but there's no one else that's looking to help that Huskar. He's too far out and too alone.
He doesn't even look like a Huskar in this game. He's just dying to every... Look, there's just too much spells, too much control coming out on this man.
And I think this is one of those games as well where, even with the blink, it's almost impossible for Blizzy to find the black hole. Like, every hero on Tigers lineup has a way to cancel the black hole.
They only can hope for some type of like black hole with global, and then they can't.
That's true.
But that's about it.
They can get it with the global. As at the moment, nobody on Tigers with a way to remove the silence, I believe. So you are right. There is that one play with the 2 ults.
It's still so difficult because they're getting so much items, and because of such a massive net worth lead, they're getting tankier and tankier, and the damage on Na'Vi, it's not like it's building up or ramping up. We see there, look how many dots there are for the Dire.
Yeah.
Just constant aggression, constantly threatening these kills. And they're getting too big for Navi's heroes to actually deal out the damage. It's not like they have they need some like 4 or 5-man black hole from like max distance zip on top, because besides that, they don't really have some like bam damage. Like Silencer, his damage is slow and progressive. Tree, not really that much damage, he's more about control. It's just not really there for the side of Na'Vi because of how this start has happened. And yeah, and Tigers looking to run away with this one.
And now that global silence and blackout hole do have a counter. Moon's got the Yules, so if he's able to just get the quick blink and Yules play onto the Enigma, he's going to be able to disrupt that black hole every single time. They have to get on top of him with ideally potentially a route from Chu as such, cancel that blink dagger, and then find the lead in with the black hole and the global silence. A lot of things that need to fall into position that can happen. It's just going to be so hard to do so. Blizzy's thinking about going for it mid. They've actually popped the global silence here, but Blizzy not quite in position to use the black hole. Now with the charge, but they try with the Sunstrike, won't connect, but now they can't look for that play for a good nearly couple of minutes. There's no global silence.
I mean, they're just going to keep farming the map. NAVI, they just don't have the way to pick people off on the sides here. They don't have some super farm Storm Spirit or anything. I mean, Magical, for some of the rare times you see it, he's bottom 4 of the net worth on this Storm. Just had an incredibly difficult game.
In your dream.
He's stalking. Oh,
you can't show he's hunting. He knows he's around and the blink is there in time. So we'll be able to TP out just before Moon comes into town with the Rolling Thunder. The Enigma escapes. Didn't get the chance to use his Midas though, Blizzy. I think because he was trying to hunt for a creep wave to find a chance, as he'll get lucky mid. Needs that BKB ASAP. Chu. So they found out they're going to try and commit for this one. They'll go in. He's looking to get in position for the black hole. Don't give it two of them. Is there any disable in time? There is not. So NAVI get away with the 2 kills. There'll be a buyback straight away from 1437 as Tigers. They're still more than happy to fight. Sunstrike, Meteor down to Blizzy. The Yules catch as well onto Crystallize, allowing time for the cooldowns to come back up as they get on top of him, beat him down. As Tigers will still take the fight.
It was just the supports that got hold. All the beefy cores, all the strong heroes that are dishing out the most amount of damage on the side of Tigers were alive, and now Seneko.
He will go for the suicide play to find the 2 bounty runes, but will indeed pay with his life. As Moon and Arjit there to continue the bloodshed from NAVI. 26-9, 18k lead at 25 minutes in. Incidentally, the second game this series we've seen where a Huskar lineup just gets absolutely demolished.
Yeah. Both these teams incredibly prepared for those type of heroes.
On In Your Dream. On the hunt again as soon as the push starts to come in on this bottom lane. Chu is around. Magical. He has to get out of here. Goes for the big zip. That should be enough to keep him safe. He's out of range of the tornado. Is out of mana.
They're just pinging him.
They do actually have the wraparound from Moon. And Moon did have the Rolling Thunder and the Yules. Will now go for the play. Have they got enough control? TPs are coming in. Blizzy's there. Can he actually do anything to help out Magical? Magical's still out of mana. The Spirit Vessel down onto him, and with the Rolling Thunder, Moon's got the control. He's into the base. He's diving for more. Swashbuckle for the low ground. Brings Blizzy low. Spirit Vessel out from In Your Dream. Secures the kill. Tigers get 2 more, continuing to add to this massive tally of kills they found in just 26 minutes.
And they're just so relentless for the kill. Look how far they died for it to get that one. Moon, man, this guy's actually just so good at Pango. The way he takes like these little arcs to get the bounce up for the wall, so he takes a little bit longer so he can make sure the stun connects. It's the little things you get to see with these type of players that just it's so explosive.
It's just crazy to see, you know, when he goes off like this on the Pangala, you sort of ask yourself,
can you get it?
No, he can't.
He cannot. And that's a full mech on it too.
But as I was saying, this guy last game, he was playing an ogre.
Don't give this man ogre.
Don't give this man a hero where he can show off.
Absolutely.
You don't show off on ogre. You really don't. But on a Pangolier, Moon is in his element.
100% agree. 23k gold lead. Tigers just seem so much more comfortable when they're playing this type of style.
Yeah.
Looking like we should have that game 5. But how close is Blizzy toward that BKB?
He's
getting there, but
he is getting there.
It's gonna be a real pipe dream for him to try to hit multiple, like 4 or 5 heroes or something, which they are really gonna need to try to catch back up this Storm. And yeah, I mean, this Storm and Huskar have 15,000 net worth together. Mirana has 15,000 net worth herself.
It's down in the jungle. They found him. They found Blizzy. Blizzy with a Sunstrike to the head will fall. Chu tries to fight back with the Overgrowth. Magical's on top of 1437. They'll get the CM. Quick route as well onto the Pangolier. They do have the Vortex controlling him. They'll take him down as well.
All right. They punch back a little bit here. It's a gem as well that's been picked up.
A big zipper. Ooh, Magical won't quite get the touch onto Zephyr before the blink is out.
That's the 2 best kills they've gotten in the game so far. I think that was actually might have been their own gem that they recovered. Now that I see it. They picked that one up so that he doesn't have to worry about like pushing out too much. Oh no, it is 40-37. Okay. I thought I'd seen someone else picked it up, but I think it looks like Thiebman was just trying to make sure that no tree is stalking on him and just keep this control of the map. Now Tiny also has a Lotus Orb, so another way to remove that silence off of himself or his teammates so they can provide that disable for that Enigma. We see Blizzy. He's the highest net worth on his team as the Enigma.
And of course, Blizzy, when he does have that BKB though, no way to cancel it for it. The Tigers lineup. And in terms of, what are we seeing from Moon's itemization on the Pango?
Greaves and Brilliant, yeah. He's playing versus the global. Like, Yule's using it on yourself is cool, but he wants to Greaves.
It takes you out of the fight for quite, a few seconds that can be very painful.
And he wants to use the combo. He wants the Rolling Thunder and Yule's on top of somebody and get that like chain stun coming out. He wants to just be able to Greaves himself and just get his spells off immediately. So good itemization across the board from Tigers, and they're continuing to just keep this one in the bag. They don't have great Rosh hitters, so you see in most games you'd probably be like, oh, why aren't they Roshing? But in this game, their heroes just don't do it. It's incredibly slow. Sure, they have Alacrity with the Mirana. They can kill it at an okay pace, but it's like that's the only way they lose is if they get caught in some like weird Rosh pit. Just control the game, and they've already been doing so and doing it incredibly well.
So here we go. BKB on Blizzy.
All right, BKB on Storm now too.
BKB also were picked up on both Mirana and Invoker, I believe.
Okay.
They're not.
I think Huskar, right?
Sorry, Mirana and Huskar were the ones that I was seeing.
So triple BKBs for Navi.
Yeah.
This is their go. They need something huge to happen here for them to come back in this game because they committed for these BKBs.
Let's see who they find. Zephyr, not the one you want to jump.
No,
you've got to find a core. Bounty runes are going to come up. Looks like both teams are in place to get 2 for each side.
They're trying to set up a play around the secondary one. They even throw the scan out just in case they're smoking to it. We've seen a lot of, I feel like more and more teams just doing smoke rotations on the bounty runes to try to catch in games. Tigers will claim 2 more and just keep these lanes pushed out. They want to try to get a fight successful here with the Moonlight Shadow. They have great map control with all these wards, as we've been saying.
Here I am.
Navi needs a miracle.
First bit of a showing and a poke from Zephyr in the mid lane, and your dream will be spotted out by Chu. He's got the vision set up. They are going to zip, dodge the tornado. They get themselves on top of the Invoker. He's rooted up as well. Global Silence being committed as they bring it Crystallize. He gets the light break across. The self-fuels will fire him up in the air for some time, but he'll still die. They get the Invoker. Commit forward now with the Rolling Thunder as Moon heads straight past them, trying to look for the backlines of Navi. Crystallize still with the BKB up. Blizzy yet to pop his, could look to jump in. There's been a buyback from In Your Dream. And they'll slow down Crystallize BKB from Archid as he commits on top of the Huskar. Gets his godlike streaker going as they take down 2 members of Navi. Tigers just losing the 1, but In Your Dream, as we see, buying back. Blizzy still has the BKB, still has the black hole ready. But without that Huskar for 35, if they can kill that Invoker a second time, that could open something big on the map, but oh no, Blizzy!
Oh no.
He's been caught out, the toss combos comes in, he's got the money for buyback.
Invoker just got the level 20 Cataclysm talent as well too, right when he bought back.
As that mid-racks totally cleaned up by Tigers. They're moving towards top. They'll see the buyback from the Enigma. They're going to respect it. Magical tries to lead in to start something, but Tigers already at a distance. Will not be caught out by the Bull Lightning.
Now they might back up to try to do a Rosh here. If they can get some good vision control, it's that. Either they get a pick off or they go just push out the lanes and try to get some type of Rosh successful here. It's still a little bit scary though, versus that BKB Enigma. Might not want to do it all the way.
That arrow there, absolutely perfect.
Yep.
Catching Blizzy off guard. He was not prepared for that one, coming straight into the middle of the base.
Any type of stun will lead into a Cataclysm, and that is max level Exort Invoker with Aghanim, so it's going to be an extra 1200 pure damage on top if he's able to use it with any stun.
Look at this wraparound as well from Tigers. They know that Navi's likely to leave the base to head towards the pit. They are going to be coming in from the low ground though. For a step forward from Seneko, he is going to spot this out. Moon does get the Rolling Thunder off. Turns towards the Silencer immediately with the Yule's combo, bouncing him up and down in place. Magical Crystallized there as well. Crystallized with the BKB committal. Magical heads towards the side, but they've lost Blizzy. Archie with the BKB commit straight away on top of the Enigma. Blizzy dead without buyback for 70 seconds. They get Crystallized as well. 3 dead on Navi. No buybacks available. Tigers with a good opportunity to at least claim another set of racks, maybe even more. As Navi with just 2 members alive, can they push Tigers back? Tigers at 33 minutes, 35 to 12, 27k gold lead. Can Na'Vi buy time for another attempt at holding on in this game?
It's not looking like it. Still 45 seconds, no Enigma. Tigers, they do heavy structure damage with this alacrity, and they're running to the final lane to claim those racks.
They certainly are. And even with the silence and the Huskar back up,
It's not enough.
I don't know if Na'Vi can go for this. They need that black hole. As Blizzy, he was looking so solid in terms of getting that BKB online, but ever since that, he got caught out twice in a row, and it's been so painful. Magical using all of the mana possible to keep them off this bottom set of racks. Chu goes in, he gets caught out, does have buyback, jump forward there on top of Seneko, pop the global silence. Living Armor's there as well. Magical zips in, he's managed to get himself on top of RJ. RJ will fall. They get the Moana and now step forward for more. Choice broken from Mimianda, keeping the distance. 40-37 goes for the freezing field with the BKB crystalline. He takes down the CM. They've got the overgrowth, locking down 2 more. As Na'Vi, they'll take 4. Ultra kill for Crystallize. As Na'Vi, against all odds, will keep that bottom Rex alive and keep themselves in the game. But they need more, a whole lot more.
And they should try to run straight to Roche. They know Invoker doesn't have buyback.
That is true.
I think that's the best play they can do here. They got a beautiful overgrowth. They got a great combo. Magical just kind of baited them in there, had the buyback. Na'Vi. Still a 26k gold lead for Tigers.
It's a big lead. But this Roshan, as you say, without buyback on either Moon or in your dream, very little that Tigers can do to contest. Zephyr can go for a YOLO play. But Blizzy,
They're throwing the scan out already. They know he's on the high ground.
and Magical's going to come searching straight away. Zephyr does get the combo. Oh, Magical nearly died. Oh, he's got to get out of there.
Almost dies,
But he does make the space for Na'Vi to finish off Roshan, get the Aegis on Crystallize. Freezing Frostbite from 1437 is out, but Crystallize jumps in. The dust is there as well upon the CM. As 1437 will fall, Magical claims the bounty runes. Na'Vi slowly climbing their way back into this game as we see this defense once more.
It looked good for Tigers too, but then Crystallized with the BKB, he just stands in the middle. Overgrowth comes out, the buyback from Magical. Too much damage coming through. Tigers overstaying their bounds just a little bit, and Na'Vi showing some life now in this game. Still at a huge deficit.
There is that counter though now, as we talked about. The Basher is out on the Pangolier, so a way to disable that black hole if he finds the angle through the BKB.
Invoker's about to start respawning. Tigers might look for some type of fight here. Na'Vi, they're all positioned around the area. Magical is a little bit far away.
They're looking to start the jumping, potentially. Crystallize, feeling confident with the Aegis. They do jump in, the toss is going to miss. That's Na'Vi. Do they really want to stick around and look for a fight? They do have the global silence and the black hole.
They need a miraculous fight to come in here again. Even if they have the Aegis, they're going to jump forward. Okay, so be careful.
Every time sort of trying to spook Tigers into committing onto him, trying to force them to group up and then set up an avenue for the Blizzy Enigma to come in and take advantage of it.
Their base is under pressure now, though. That top rack's being taken out so early. They have the catapults pushing into. Tigers, they look like they want to try to take an approach. They want to try to wrap around, find that Enigma in the backlines, find the silencer so they don't have to worry about those globals that can be pretty annoying. Seneko, trying to find some farm on the map here. Theben, 1437 is already pinging it. He's on the prowl.
As soon as Blizzy sees his Eidolons being taken down by RG, he has to retreat. They cannot afford to lose anybody outside of the base.
Nope.
As how are Na'Vi's buybacks looking? It can't be too hot at the moment after that defense down bottom, as we see here. Just only Seneko and Crystallize with buybacks available. 2.5 minutes and Blizzy's will be back. It's a pretty long 2 minutes though. Arrows out, they've got the ward down as well, Tigers, so they see Magical. They get the opening with the Frostbite, they're trying to lead forward as well. The Yules, and they're running front of Blizzy's in. He gets the 2-man black hole. Have they got the damage to get the kills? Whilst this black hole's going on, the overgrowth's out as well. The Cataclysm's in place, they've got to back off. Blizzy taking 2 sun strikes to the face as he falls low. They've killed off RJ with the immediate buyback. In your dream, trying to lead forward onto the Enigma. Blizzy's still alive for now. The big lead for Crystallize comes out onto In Your Dream, but they do not have the disable to kill him. They've lost Blizzy, they've lost Magical without buyback. Can Seneko and Crystallize keep the fight going? Moon, he's got the shield crest, damage resistance, he keeps the distance, Seneko won't fall. He's got buyback available with the cold snap. Spirit Vessel takes Crystallize down the once. Chu watching from the sidelines. He gets the Meteor Hammer down, the roots onto Moon. Crystallize getting kited up by the side of Tigers. Can they get Crystallize back to safety? Chew still hiding amongst the trees. The tornado, the meteor combo from In Your Dream comes down, takes Snake out a second, and a big lead for Crystallite, but the deafening blast knocks him back. They've lost Chew as Tigers finds him in the trees. GG is called with only Crystallite left standing. There's no chance for Navi to hold on anymore in this game.
Oh, we got a game 5.
We have indeed. Tigers, after a disastrous game 2 and game 3, they get themselves back on track with a very convincing game 4.
What did they end up going for? Don't worry, I'll look it up.
Techies.
No, I did not know.
I might have had a Lena or something. I think, it was TA. Pretty sure it was TA.
One was Alchemist, the other one was Clinks.
Oh,
Damn, Kyle.
This is the exact same draft they had against Infamous Game 1
Exact
yesterday.
same draft.
Exactly.
Then why don't they ban it, Cheever?
I don't know.
Too many heroes to ban. They're distracted by the previous games.
Okay, guys, this is it. I am going for Navi as well, but gosh, really, our predictions don't mean anything at all. Sorry to say, they really do not. All that matters is this 5th game is going to decide who's going to be the champion here for the first minor and who is going to be in 2nd place and therefore disappointed in their own performance. It is over to Odie Pixel and Fog for game 5.
Yes, Game 5 of the Corsair Dream League Season 10 Minor, ladies and gentlemen. NAVI versus Tigers. I'm Odie Pixel here with Fog. One of these teams is going to the major in just over a week's time. Which is it going to be? And I think fitting as ever that we sort of have Navi, the CIS representatives, Tigers, the SEA representatives. These two regions, I think a lot of people sort of come around, during sort of the announcement of the major, with the two regions where people said they deserve another invite. Get another team from one of these regions. And we're seeing them absolutely duel it out here. One game left in this best of 5. Which region is going to be sending another team to the major? We will find out. We've seen the drafts. Fog, as the panel said, we've seen this draft with Navi before. They get it through again. Do you like the fact that Tigers as a team sort of let a team come in with another winning draft? Is it sort of good for Tigers because at the same time they could have read this and they could have in their minds a way to deal with it with their own lineup?
They've seen the game.
Yeah.
They've seen the way it can be played, and they do have a fast-paced game, right? They have this, like, similar as last time. They have all these spamming heroes. It's very similar to draft, just placing a couple heroes. All these heroes have constant amount of spam, and they do have ways to actually kill this Alchemist. I think Navi's, it's a bit greedy, but if they can actually get away with it, if they can actually get away with, stalling out and taking these big team fights, it'll be beautiful to look at. And I don't know who to go with because, Bulldog has 100% right prediction. Kyle has, a 0%, and they both went for the same team.
Yeah. If anything, we can only hope that means that we get an incredibly close game
100%
to finish off this series, as that is hopefully how it is written in the ways that we saw those predictions goes.
Yeah.
As we say, magical. Sort of one of the sort of the powers of his Alchemist is, we've seen sort of magical on multiple heroes just be so good with sort of his farming patterns. The way that he's able to realize which point to leave that lane and just get so much out of his own jungle.
Mm-hmm. And they just have so much kill threat is the one thing I'm looking at Tigers. It's a very fast-paced draft. Their cooldowns are not really that much that they need to rely on. It's a Laguna. Laguna is their actual only long cooldown. I mean, yeah, Underlord Rift and Moonlight Shadow, but I mean by killing people and just actually going for these big damage plays. While on the side of Navi, it's Phoenix, Void, Enigma, Tree, all these heroes have incredibly long duration cooldowns on their ultimates. But like I said, if they can actually slow the pace down of this game and not allow Tigers to end it, this Alchemist has 4 Aghanims that he can give that are fantastic. He can also have a great time to tank up versus this lineup. It's just about Tigers ending it with a timing push with an Underlord, with Greaves or his pipe or his Crimson Guard and just trying to end this before Navi are able to get online.
And talking about the Underlord, what is your opinion of it? Sort of as, you know, the panel said they wanted to see Moon on more of maybe a playmaking flashy hero like the Pangolier. Getting him on this Underlord, this hero, as you said, that we can expect to see just building up the auras, offering to sort of just shoving his way down a lane, backing up the team for a 5-man push in the mid game. Do you like sort of the opportunities that Tigers can find with an Underlord this game?
I prefer Moon playing the playmakers, honestly. I 100% agree with the panel when I like seeing him saying these heroes. He's seeing him do these like high skill heroes that are just like doing crazy flashy plays. Underlord, you kind of just stand there and you're casting your stuff. It's bottom lane. Do they have it?
They don't.
The bash?
The bash, indeed. That bash from Crystallize, stopping Tigers from getting first blood. One more right click from Arjit would have done it.
Beautiful.
At the same time, though, 1437 getting some good blocks onto Seneko.
Got a Mango.
He is going to go for the TP out. There's the Mango, the Frostbite, 1437 with the outplay. Secures first blood for Tigers nonetheless.
And the tip immediately.
It's all on, everything to play for in this best of 5 final game.
Alchemist is doing great in that mid matchup already, as we see him. He does quite well versus Lina's, even if the Lina has like such high range and all that. Bottom though, Crystallize is being slowed down quite a lot. He has brought in a significant amount of regen, as we've seen him do all the time on this vote. Actually, he always brings the 9 tangos plus that south, so he can eat that pressure.
I like it. You've got to be able to stay in the lane.
Yeah.
That's true. Trying his best to sort of keep vision on the side, but they've got the sentry down, Tigers.
So the Underlord, though, the one thing is, it is about looking at Navi's draft. Their damage, until they have items, is very limited. Of course, they have like all these big ultimates, but when you really look at it, the brunt force of it, their damage is just not really there. It's like Phoenix is going to provide probably the majority of the damage in that early game.
Some cute little body blocking there with the Eidolons to allow a fair few punches to come in onto Moon. But yeah, that is true. Yeah, you sort of see this game, Pipe, Crimson Guard. Yeah, Navi is going to severely struggle to get kills in the team fights.
Absolutely. And he's going to be off to a great start on the Underlord. Being able to just be that frontliner for his team to just look to try to snowball those kills. Now Lina is starting to build up in the level, so I mean, a little bit more harassment onto Magical, but he's very good at being able to keep his last hits up on this Alk. Level 4 already versus that level 5 Lina, so Lina getting a couple more denies, because you know, you're versus Alchemist. Acid Spray just helps you get denies in a lot of those cases. Tigers are ready. A little bit ahead in this laning start, especially with how they're pressuring the Void, getting that first blood, of course, with Crystal Maiden. And like the panel, like Shiva mentioned too, we went back and we're like, Tiny's won every single game in this grand final so far. And Tigers, they first pick it for Zephyr.
Yeah, definitely for Zephyr as well, the hero that he seems the most comfortable on.
100%.
We've seen is sort of Lina and the Wyvern performances both quite lacking in this best of 5. With the Tiny, you can expect Zephyr to perform.
Bounty runes, 10 seconds. People already starting to prepare for them. We see the tree already kind of making his way to them. Underlord looks like he's trying to make sure he claims the enemy one, but
Lizzie,
there's a Lina here too.
He's in a bit of a strange position as he was hiding behind the tree, but indeed with a rotation from In Your Dream, he gets cut down. Same time, Crystallize, he's going to get taken out by Arjit there as that attempt for bounty runes by Na'Vi up and down the map. Off to a huge disaster as they lose 2.
Yeah, we saw the way the Tigers was playing in the last game, right? They made sure they set up really good lanes, and they claimed pretty much all the bounty runes. Oh, stops the pull there with Zephyr. Nice play there. But yeah, making sure that they can keep that economy war going, and we're going to see, most likely, 1437, since the way that they played it the last time, 2 versus a Storm Spirit who goes to jungle, he's going to place those deep wards down again. Place one at the shrine near that, you know, the triangle. Well, you know, it's a radiant triangle, it's a little bit different. And then place one to watch those hard camps of the Alchemist. So we'll get spotted more than likely, and that one should, or might get dewarded. May actually not have been seen. But they will get those deep vision down to be able to keep tabs of this Alchemist to look to dive. And Lina can definitely look to make those dives. If there's no Chemical Rage, they can look to get those setups with the dual rotation with CM, with Tiny, and Lina. But this time around, Navi, they're preparing a little bit more. They have their own defensive ward placed extremely early. 6 minutes in, they place a high ground ward to try to protect this Alchemist.
They have to
2 defensive wards,
everything possible to make sure the Magical's got a safe space to farm.
Yeah, look at that. So you don't really see those wards coming out like this, but they know they have a bit of a greedy draft when it comes to it.
On the lane, trying to look for the setup onto Arjit, but as soon as he's aware they're hunting for him, pops a leap, keeps the distance, he's out of there.
They're not giving him any space.
Does indeed make the invasion. They've got the setup, he'll get the Chemical Rage off, the tree throw, it's enough. Perfect move from Tigers as they sweep across Navi's half of the map and punish Magical. Down bottom, RG, he did try and jump back in to kill off the Phoenix. Soneko just able to survive with the stick charges.
A solid aggressive start. Like we said, Tigers, they've got these heroes with all this spam.
They can
we saw
punch
them
it.
do similar to the last game, just constant throwing of spells out, constant being able to invade with the CM Tiny. They can definitely put the pressure on.
Towers under attack.
Navi have to be able to stall this one out so they can get their farm and get their big ultis off on time. Because we have seen them do so many times, like the panel said too. They've ran this exact draft. They've ran Void with Phoenix, Void with Enigma, time and time again throughout this tournament. Just can they get to that point to make sure they can make sure this Alchemist is a significant force as he's just being hunted.
Here's Zephyr. And Magical's got the chemical range. Also has the backup of the living armor. Starts to punch Zephyr away. No TP's coming in to sort of wrap around and get the kill onto Zephyr though, so Zephyr will still be unable to hang around.
Another deep ward.
Keep a look in onto Magical, try and still CS that he can.
He gets both of them there, and he's looking to get another one, and he will take them all.
He's taken every single one, including the skeletons at bottom lane. They've got crystallized too. 14:37 and RG finding the pickoff. It's 5-0, 8 minutes in, a 3K lead for Tigers. They have that pace that they can utilize with this fantastic lineup for sort of punishing the lanes, sort of the weaker early game lanes that Na'Vi have, so that they can get this early advantage, and they're doing it perfectly so far.
The playmaking on Na'Vi is just very limited until those sixes come out, like we keep saying. Tigers, they can just run from lane to lane with this Tiny, with this Crystal Maiden to look to set up kills, but now there at least is a black hole available for Blizzy. But look at Zephyr, he's just following Magical.
And there's no one keeping him off him. We are now going to see Soneko head over. They drew the toss, the Avalanche, but Blizzy's there as well with the Malefice. They should be able to kill Zephyr off, as he has certainly been a huge nuisance so far for Na'Vi, but he will finally get punished. Magical able to chase him underneath the tower, and they get the kill. Crystallize still trying to find that last bit of XP to get him towards the level 6 on the Void, as he still stands without a chrono available. They just have to make sure that there's space here for Magical so that he can continue to farm, and they cannot let Tigers consistently get away with these deep invasions of Navi's half of the map.
Crystallize is going, he has to farm the mid lane though you're talking about, so that means Chu is bottom, but as a tree versus a Mirana, he can't really walk up and get too many last hits. If he does, he gets harassed significantly. And Tigers, they're not slowing down. They want to keep this pace up. They want to keep hunting for kills constantly.
Magical.
1437.
He's going to have eyes on him, but in your dreams there. Light strikes down, they won't commit with the burst. They know there's not quite enough. Crystallize is coming across, he's got it. Chronosphere pops it. He gets the catch onto the Lina that they need. Do they have follow-up disable and detection afterwards? They do have a sentry down, but the Laguna will still come out. They lose Soneko, but they get the kill on In Your Dream. Jump forward now with the point in concoction. Magical throws it down onto 1437, but they don't have any further detected, but it doesn't matter. Blizzy, he goes for the blind black hole. The Moonlight Shadow's about to wear. Midnight Pulse is down. They'll kill off 1437. Magical looking to chase for more concoction back up in 5 seconds. That was a strong play from Blizzy, committing the black hole onto the 2 Moonlight Shadow targets. The concoction's cooking up as they get this connection onto Zephyr. Time will forward by Crystallize. Malefice is there as well as Na'Vi. They'll show Tigers what they think about Tigers invading their jungle time after time.
And Blizzy coming in incredibly clutch there, getting both of the heroes actually inside of that black hole. That was so needed. And Na'Vi, they're able to at least expend those big ultis to get themselves some kills. When they do get those level 6s online immediately, they look to just try to respond. Make sure they can try to get some space on the map. Void still not really able to farm, but it's all about the Alchemist, right? And he's now given space, so he's top net worth. I think he's getting 2,200 net worth after all that plays out, after they get themselves those 3 kills. Or 4 kills.
Zephyr back in his favorite place, trying to take what he can from the Alchemist to disrupt that sort of Grievel's gold streak that he tries to build up. Soneko on the top lane has nearly managed to sweep up the XP needed for his level 6.
Okay. Just get all those level 6s online, get all your ultis ready so you can actually have damage to come through. Still going to be a little bit limited.
Asmoon will claim the tier 1 tower top.
Tigers have to be very careful of how they overextend into plays when they know that those ultis are available. Right now, like we said though, it's only going to be the Phoenixes available for some time now, as Chrono and Enigma both have a long cooldown, and Wonder Kid, he's on the prowl.
Yes, it does under ward vision, so Na'Vi know that he's heading down here. Midnight Pulse dropped as a quick Malefice as well onto the Mirana. Blizzy trying to juke out the arrow, but the arrow still connects. He ends up walking into it. Jump forward from Arjit with the commitment of the burst of the Laguna. They get the kill. 1437. He is trapped up, surrounded. Can they kill True in time? They cannot. They do still kill him, but he was able to bring down 1437, win it. Seneko, he knows the two of them are sort of in there. Does have a supernova, but at the same time cannot commit it against these two heroes that are fantastic at taking down the egg. So he'll back off as Tigers continue to get these favorable trades. Even with sort of Navi, as I say, seeing that movement from Lina, they were unable to react in time and get the two of them out of there.
Yeah. And in this game too, we see Moon's build. I actually love that he went for the Dominator as well on top of the hood. The Dominator, now he can actually get this item that can counter the BKB Black Hole in the later stages. If he gets the Dark Troll Summoner, if that's the choice that he wants to, he can, and also able to apply his own lane pressure. He can actually get this catapult, keep pressuring down towers, spamming in those waves, and keep Navi responding to him, keep this threat of an Underlord.
Do you like this sort of change up as well from Blizzy? We saw what in the previous two games on Enigma, he goes for the Midas into BKB. This game, he just goes straight for the Pipe Rush.
I mean, there's so much magic damage on the side of Tigers. They did a similar thing as last game where they pick a Crystal Maiden and they pick like 4 magic damage spammers. It could pay off. It could hurt if he doesn't get an early blink BKB, and it also could hurt that he doesn't have like this Midas that he can rely on farming. But he has to be able to make plays early on. I think that's his thought process because of how greedy their draft is.
Black Hole up in a couple of seconds, but they will not be able to get themselves on top of Zephyr. Zephyr now with the phase boots on.
Phase boots? That's different. Seen him mostly just rushing out his blink dagger so he can keep the pressure going. Gives him high base damage and high mobility so he can keep running around the map. And he is pretty much just running around the map, so... Was he? Oh, look at these juices.
Look at these stealing so much from Magic. Spot him. Actually looking for the setup here with the Overgrowth. Chrono's down as well. If they get a couple of bashes, they should have this. He needs one more. He's not going to get it. As Arjit with the 3 leaps is out of there. One more bash would have done it, but RNG not on Crystallize's side.
We said the draft of Navi, it's extremely limited in damage. That is why we saw Tigers, they last picked this Underlord. If he can just itemize, then they can just try to go for closing this game. But Magical, even though he's been slowed down a bit, his Relic timing, 14 minutes with Treads and a Soul Ring, not too shabby.
No. Not going to be the time. I believe with this draft last time around, we saw him get the sort of crazy 11-minute radiant timing.
He did.
So certainly going to be a much tougher game in comparison to that one.
He's been contested an insane amount this game. Just the invasions coming out from this tiny CM. Just everybody always has such high mana on the side of Tigers that they can keep playing on the map. They don't have to back up at all. They just can keep making these moves consistently to try to pressure the Navi greedy lineup. And so far, it's working. 5k gold lead. They need to keep it up. Keep this deep vision down.
Certainly seems that, as we expected, Tigers, they knew exactly how Navi was going to end this draft. They sort of let the Alchemist through because they had this way of approaching and punishing the Alchemist pick.
Got bounty runes in about 10 seconds. Tigers want to ideally try to claim as many of those as possible versus an Alchemist, but look at Navi. They're emphasizing so much on trying to claim it. Moon, he's just walking in. He is. Tigers here too.
They are coming in with the wraparound. The quick burst means the Seneko is not going to get the chance to get the ults off. They've got the root down onto the two of them as well as the freezing field. Magical falls. Blizzy gets hit by a tree. As Tigers just reading every single movement and intention from Navi this game.
Flawless move so far. I mean, it's 5-11. They've gotten a lot of like Navi having to commit some big ultis to get these kills, but Tigers, they're emphasizing so much on this pressure. The arrow, Crystallize.
Yes, get out of it.
He's getting chased though.
There he is. He's already used the first time. Well, he's going to have it back up in a couple of seconds, but they have the control. So many stuns for this Void to worry about.
And they claimed themselves 3 of the 4 bounty runes in that last time. Magical did end up getting the one top. But again, just like last time, we see the way Tigers is prioritizing the game versus this greedy draft. Moon, stepped up a bit far, doesn't have mana for the Rift out either.
Blizzy does have the wraparound with the Malefice and the Sunray. They've got a good amount of damage ticking him down. The Overgrowth and Supernova being used as well, as they cannot risk Moon getting away.
It's a lot of gold they get for just that kill. 2 ultis used, Overgrowth as well as the Phoenix Egg. And the Phoenix, like we're mentioning, he's a lot of the damage coming in for the side of Navi for quite a long time. Magical.
They lead in, Avalanche, Light Strike, Crystallize jumps forward. He's got the Chrono if he can close the gap, but he can't do so. They're a little too speedy with the Phase Boost on Zephyr and the Fiery Soul stacks. Felina's out of there. 1437 won't be quite as fortunate as he takes an acidic concoction to the face from Magical. Navi get themselves another kill. Still 8k behind though at 16 minutes in.
And now the full pipe finished up for the Underlord. So that little physical damage that Navi has, pretty much all magic damage for a very long time in this draft, is going to be heavily mitigated by that.
Radiant's bottom
They just keep
tower is under
this map control going. Their deep wards, most of them have timed out or been countered out by Navi, but we have to expect Tigers. They're just going to keep running at the side of Navi.
Lizzie, quick dupe the Pit of Malice, won't be rooted today.
The mini stuns.
Very close to having the complete pipe for the team.
Yep.
Radiant's now done for Magical.
It's just a Radiant Stone. Look at those other two cores on the side of Navi. They are not farming well whatsoever. The Tiny is about to surpass Crystallize in farm. And Crystallize, he doesn't have any space to get any farm. This Alchemist needs all of it. Immediate invasions by Tigers.
He's starting to poke outside of the base, but 40-37, he's got friends nearby. Moon is there. They will manage to hold themselves near the shrine. Light Strike comes down out onto the tree, and they're by the shrine, healing up. Chew is thinking about throwing out the Overgrowth. Blizzy, he does go for the Black Hole. Gets the two of them, but the Light Strike's there from In Your Dream. From the high ground, have the instant cancel. They take down the two of them. Navi have lost 2 kills. They're trying to fight back. The Chrono is not going to save the Supernova. It's a disaster for Navi. Light Strike through the Chronosphere, holds down Crystallize. The arrow, it connects. Tigers, they're not done with just 4. They'll take the full team wipe. In Your Dream gets an ultra kill. As Navi there, they used the Overgrowth, they used the Black Hole, they used the Supernova, they used the Chronosphere. It didn't matter, they lost everybody.
They don't have the damage, and Tigers, with all this lockdown, with all this spam ability, they're not ready to threaten high ground. It's less than 20 minutes, and 10k gold lead.
Radiant's top tower.
Uh-oh, Tigers, they had a plan versus this heavy, greedy draft from Navi, and so far they're executing it perfectly. Already on the high ground.
With a Light Strike. And she hitting onto Seneko there. Crystallize trying to lead in with the time lock. Frostbite comes through. You see Arjun starting to think about turning around and fighting this. The Frostbite will wear off as Crystallize is able to time warp back to safety. But they've got to wait for those ults to come back online. And as we've seen, even with them, it's so hard for Navi to come out on top of the fights. With the fact that pretty much the entirety of Tigers' lineup are a full item ahead.
Yeah, and now they just continue this pressure, right? Just keep these high ground visions, defend your wards on the side of Tigers. Don't let Navi get any space on the map. Place a ward on the bottom side too, so you can see whenever this Alchemist goes jungle, and immediately, 1-4-3-7, they're hunting. They've got Magical. He's all alone.
No escape for the Alchemist.
Tigers are just playing this, yeah, perfect. They're punishing the greed, not giving any space. They want this place. They want the space to go to the major. So far, it's working. A hero we don't see very often, the Underlord, working out because of all the pressure they can apply on the lanes and just the little damage that Navi has, like we keep saying.
It's being nullified with the pipe and the greaves. It's going to be so hard for Navi to kill anybody. It already is.
And immediately, look, they show that Crystallize shows his face on the map, and right away they start sandwiching.
And they've got a Supernova. That's it at the moment. Overgrowth now back up. As Arjit leads him with the Moonlight Shadow. Navi, they have to get out of here immediately. Lizzie being focused by Moon. Pip Malice will not connect, but Moon pushes Blizzy away so they can grab the 2 bounty runes. Top, down, bottom as well, they'll grab them. Every single bounty rune going Tiger's way. It's a 14k lead at 20 minutes.
They're so good about like keeping their lead and just addressing. The only way that Navi comes back is getting some space to farm, getting these bounties. They won't let them. Look, immediately they start running bottom. They're just running from literally lane to lane, just hunting.
Yeah.
They don't care about getting farmed with creeps.
Magical. He's got to back up. They're closing in. They're on top of him with the Frostbite. He'll get the Chemical Rage up. Zephyr's there with the wraparound. Jumps in with the combo. They're underneath the tower though. Zephyr is split up from the rest of the team. They'll get the Concoction and Acid Spray down onto the Tiny. Zephyr will fall. Now, with 1 man down, they've got to consider if they're really going to pick around. Crystallize gets the setup with the Chronosphere out onto the 2 of them with the Mask of Madness. They beat down the Crystal Maiden. They surround Moon. The Bash is coming out. Navi strike back. They'll get the 3 kills. They will be able to punish Tigers for just diving that little bit too far, overextending towards and beyond that tier 2 tower bottom.
They didn't have the lean in the Mirana there for Tigers. Like the other 3, they're pretty good at hunting until Chemical Rage comes out and the Tree Armor. They don't have the actual raw damage to deal through it without these 2 big cores. So Tigers, it's good that they're making moves around the map constantly, but they need to have one of those real big damage dealers to come in. Tiny provides a lot if he's able to get the combo immediately onto somebody, but Alchemist still kind of tanky. Navi, They punch back, and that's just one ulti they had to use there. So now they do have the other ones to be able to thwart it off. And this game, it's all about if they can hold that high ground, stall the game out for Navi.
Arjit trying to get the prediction with the arrow. Still got the Yules, does cancel the dive. He does have a supernova, but he won't get it out. The perfect timing for the light strike will hold Seneko down. As Tigers back on the prowl, back on the killing spree. They also find Blizzy. Blizzy tossed up, does have a pipe. That's 40-37, he'll get the slow, the arrow, he gets him! But the pipe and the living armor, they're keeping him alive, not enough though. Starstorm comes out from Arjit. As even with the pipe and that armor, when there's as much damage as Tigers have, they can still very much kill that Enigma.
If they've got the Mirana and the Lina there, for sure. And we see the itemization. Look at this Lina's items. He's not going for some type of Shadow Blade. I mean, that would have been, always a good hunting item. But he's got a Blink, he's got a Yules, he's got an Aether Lens. And
That's a spooky creep. But they're out of there. So Tigers unable to find the catch in the bottom lane as Navi straight back to base.
when Greaves do come out, they're gonna be so durable versus Navi's lineup. And this Void, he's just still not able to catch up. Has Mask of Madness, but in comparison, he is far, far behind Tiger's cores.
Chu just trying to do what he can, soaking up the XP that's being farmed up by Arjit.
They need to be so efficient with their movements on the side of Navi. Like every single time they get any space on the map, they need to go out, de-ward those high ground wards that Tiger's placing down, and just try to give Magical a game where he can get this farm up, to be able to give those Aghanims, be able to get to be that big beefy core that he can actually soak up Tiger's high damage potential. Position for a dive when they're trying to claim this tier 2 bottom, Tigers. So Blink, Yules, Aetherlens into a straight Aghanims on the Lina. It's all about just hunting for kills. Getting in position. Also, the Blink Dagger can be incredibly useful versus the Void. If Void tries to jump in, you can get the quick Blink out. All about this pressure. So Magical gets the level 15 mark, which is a very significant portion for that Alchemist. You get that 400 health talent. Can be able to absorb some more of that damage that Tigers has.
Turbo eyes on Zephyr. Coming across, trying for the D-Ward. Does get the D-Ward, but it costs him his life.
Yep.
As Navi will be quick to reclaim control of that ward spot. 1437 and In Your Dream pushing in. Crystallize, maybe seeing if he can find the setup for the Chronosphere. Does he really want to chase forward for this? Look at the Frostbite. In Your Dream coming back in, but the Chrono comes out straight away. The Laguna! The distance, the Yules damage as well. Can he get out of this? He can't! The Frostbite kills him! And now the egg down. The egg will it be successful? Blizzy coming in from the side. The egg does fall. But the Chrono, the Black Hole setup's there. It's out onto the two of them. They've got In Your Dream. RG trying to leap away. Moonlight Shadow as well. Will keep him safe. As Tigers, they back off. A 2-for-2 trade. Magical's got the dust. Can he get the concoction out though? He can! Yes, he can! He gets it out to 40-37. But Arjit turns the arrow out onto Chu.
Lina
the big
buyback.
armor's there as he's trying to retreat, but the damage over time will tick him out. The buyback from In Your Dream will mean that the setup, the catch is there for Blizzy. Your Scepter and a Light Strike holds him in place. As Tigers, they buy back on In Your Dream, but it will keep them on top once again.
All the ultis used now, though. This is Tiger's time to try to break that high ground when they've got everybody alive and Navi doesn't have anything to protect them. It's just the Alchemist for now. He has 2 more heroes respawning, but they don't have anything really to provide here.
They've got to get that courier as well out to the secret shop, as Magical needs his Manta Star. He needs to get that ultimate orb. There is a Crystal Maiden hanging around there. They've got to be careful with the courier here. 1437 is nearby. Does manage to get it in and out, but there's the jump. They toss Magical back. Magical needs help. Seneca's been taken down. Magical gets beat down as well. Tigers, they take more from Navi. 2 more kills, and they'll continue to push on.
And they need to take this tower down, too, because there's a tree armor, so it's going to get healed up if they don't finish it.
And they'll get it.
They do get it.
They get the tier 3 tower with the commitment. Moon has the pipe. Sunray's coming out. It's not enough. And in fact, Zephyr jumps back in. Seneca's got to be careful. Living Armor will keep him safe once more. The concoction does come out, trapping Zephyr underneath the tier 3 tower. They had to buy back on both Seneko and Magical for that, though. And as we saw, they didn't keep the tier 3 alive.
Nope. And an immediate back out from Tigers when they see those buybacks. Now the cooldowns will start coming back for Navi, but it's a 15,000 gold lead. And Tigers, they're going to look to clean out those shrines.
And it looks like Navi, they were unable to get the courier safely to the shop. Still needs to get that ultimate orb, Magical. As Tigers, they're all over this area of the map, making it very hard for Navi to get over. Chu is trying for the lead, and they do have a Chronosphere available if they see an opportunity, but the Pit of Malice comes out, responds Seneko. He's trying here with the Supernova, the 40-37 and Moon, they're hitting it. They've got the overvote. Can they hold them back in time? No, the 8 falls. Magical in on top of 40-37. The Chrono, it gets the 3 of them, but do they have the damage? The arrow, it hits Crystallize. They may have killed 2 and Tigers. Moon's trying for the Rift out. Can he get the Himanaji out in time? He can. So again, Tigers, sure they lose 2, but they still continue to come out on top of these fights, despite Navi using their ultimates.
And it's very thankful that Blizzy gets the Midnight Pulse on top of that black hole, or on top of that Chronosphere. We see that most of the damage comes just from Midnight Pulse inside that team fight. He's able to set it up there. But Tigers, they get the bailout. Like we said, the Pit Lord, the Underlord, as soon as he has these type of all these defensive items, the damage is really mitigated.
Yeah, they can't kill him in time.
And now that is the ult he's used again.
It is. Time to push back in from Arjit and Zephyr, as they're knocking on the barracks. Looks like they will be fine with Magical's presence, as Magical does now have the Manta style out to him. He's nearly got the money for Blink Dagger as well.
He has to be careful, though. He did use buyback. If he dies, that's going to be a long time without their strongest hero, their strong front lines for them to be able to set up. So we see Blizzy. He goes for these strong defensive items. He's going for a Crimson Guard of their own to try to
level
protect
15
him.
talent did he get as well?
That's the GPM.
Does still get the GPM.
Yeah.
Radiant's bottom shrine.
But Underlord, we see he's going full all of the defensive items.
Yeah.
Has the Greaves finished up 2 on top, so if they do start dropping low, that extra regen and armor kicks in.
Radiant's bottom shrine has fallen.
Invisibility.
Such a tough one for Navi to
See
come
this
back
replay
here.
again. I mean, the Chrono.
Catches all of them, and the Midnight Pulse is down right on top of all of it for that damage applied coming through.
It could have gone a bit better, but the Pit of Malice just stopped Crystallize from getting quite close enough in time to get the Chrono out before they took down that Supernova Egg.
Yep.
Like, it nearly went perfect for Navi, but just sort of these little things like the roots from the Underlord make it so hard for the Void to play around at this stage.
Yeah, it's so much control, like you said, on the side of Tigers. Just like the last game. It's a very similar draft that they went for this time around. And it's working again. 16,000 gold.
They have to be careful with this Moonlight. They're closing in on them. Time lockout from Crystallize.
Time
Dilation.
That's your hero,
Oh,
Owen.
damn it, it is. It's alright, don't skill that skill.
You really don't.
No.
Zephyr. It's spotted. Magical.
Yeah, it's been ticked down by the Radiance.
There's a lot of Navi's heroes here.
Can they do this? They do have the ultimates to play around as well if a full-fledged team fight kicks off. The toss is actually going to mean that Magical is out of the way of the arrow. Zephyr sort of saving him. Zephyr is still alive though. Does manage to walk off. Moon comes in with a raptor and the pit's down onto Magical. Magical does not have the ult, but they do with the Chrono. They get it down, but the Rift is going to be there from Moon. It's looking to take the team out in time. Will it be that it brings him out? Moon takes everyone back to safety. Zephyr and 1437 are left behind, but they can still walk it off.
That's like every ulti. Now Tigers can reset. They can look to either go for the Roche or they can look to just go for fight.
Blizzy, he's in trouble. The Yule setup there from In Your Dream. Living Armor. Is it really going to be enough along with the Crimson Guard to save this Enigma? It is not. They've lost Blizzy.
They know there's no ultis available. Now it's a choice, Tigers. Do you go for the Roche? Do you go for the high ground?
I think at the least they can go for the bounty runes. We'll see Seneko is already heading out. He doesn't want them to get all 4 bounty runes, but he's not going to get there in time. In Your Dream's already on it.
They're so quick about it. Bulldog is very happy inside of the green room right
It's a 17k gold lead for Tigers.
Yep.
At 30 minutes in against an Alchemist lineup.
Yeah, and they're just keeping this pressure on. They're always there with multiple heroes. So much disable coming in, and now they're looking for the Roche.
They don't have anything to contest this with Navi.
There's no way they can try to fight this. It would be suicide.
Let it go. They've got to let it go.
35, 55, 104. They've got overgrowth, but yeah, that one's not going to provide too much. As we said, the damage is limited for them to catch.
And In Your Dream doesn't find the connection onto Seneko. Zephyr still trying to chase. With the dive, Seneko will be far enough away to get back to the high ground. As Tigers taking the Roshan for free.
Oh, look at this. Look at this Underlord's HP regen. Look at that. 73.5. They got the level 20 talent now.
Do we have anyone that can get a Spirit Vessel on Navi's line?
They have one on Tree.
They do have one.
But he has Greaves, so he can dispel it. He's usually using the dispel for the overgrowth, but
not if he's in the Chrono though.
Not if he's in the Chrono.
They can
indeed.
get him in these sort of big ultimates. There is a chance that he dies. I mean, still without that
He's still
regen,
so tanky.
he really is. It's so hard to kill Moon.
And do they have now the Aghanims on the Lina? He's got this level 20 Spell Lamp talent too, so the damage that comes through from Lina, if he does, he has it back at base. It is over 1,000 pure damage, around like 1,100-ish pure damage that can be coming through from that Lina. We do see Magical has picked up the BKB, so he's a little bit safer.
Got everything up in terms of ultimates, apart from that black hole. Just 40 seconds until we'll see Blizzy up with that one as well.
Yep, Tigers with this Aegis, they're backing out. They're making sure that they can just farm, push out these lanes. See, 1437, he's running around with the Tome. Okay, he uses it on himself. I thought he might be saving it for someone. But they've got some GPM talents too, as we see the Crystal Maidens starting to kick in above the 2 supports. I mean, look at the farm right now on Tigers. They've got 4 of the 5 top net worth, just like the last game. And this Crystal Maiden almost has the same net worth as Crystal Eyes.
As this whole map and this whole game being controlled by Tigers.
Yeah, they just keep farming. They're doing the suffocation again now onto Navi. They can't get out to be able to get any farm. Magical even afraid to step out, and Magical's the only one who's really farming at all now. We see now bottom. They look like they're trying to force out the lanes a little bit here just to make sure that Tigers can't set up all around. The Tigers, they just continue to grow that lead since they have all the space in the world to farm.
Aye.
Very nice. Full Aghanims now. And this is time. Hey, Tigers, they've got their lanes in good positions. They want to claim a Rax.
Navi's got to get back. Now I imagine Crystallite does have a TP, he does. He's going to head back. They want to hold this. The arrow. Margit. It connected. Blizzy's going to try to walk forward, but the Laguna already comes down with the Aghanims. It's more than enough damage to just finish Sineko straight up. Argit committing with the BKB, jumps in. The black hole is there. It's holding down Argit with the light point. It cancels the black hole. It's gone. They jump in. They kill off the third. Then we have buyback from Crystallite, buyback from Blizzy. But he's got no black hole, there's no Treant, and there is no Phoenix for this defense.
And they've used their BKB on the Alchemist too. His Chemical Rage is back up now on Alk. He's trying to walk forward, but we see how strong Tigers is.
And they're in straight away again. Zephyr with the 2-man avalanche to toss the control. Blizzy tries to turn, they jump in. Crystallite got the chrono. Do they have the damage? The Radiance burn, the Supernova Navi. They've got the Underlord, they've got the ZM. They're looking for more, they got that Aegis. Can they kill Argit a second time? Argit trying to fight back, beating into Sineko. Sineko keeps his distance, but the right clicks are enough. Argit takes down the Phoenix. A Laguna Blade from the dream bursts down Crystallite. Magical control. Tigers, they get the 4 of them.
It's a buyback on the Alk, but everybody else is dead. The siege by Tigers. That Laguna Blade, I think that Laguna Blade almost killed Crystal Eyes from full health.
Tigers, they can go for so much more here.
Look at the spells that casted. 2 Laguna Blades in the fight, 5 Light Strike arrays, 7 Dragon Slaves.
That Aghanim's making all the difference.
Just it's just too much of a gold lead. Tigers, we had a beautiful setup by Navi. They catch pretty much the perfect fight for themselves, but Tigers, they're just too strong.
As Navi, they're going to try with just the 2 of them. They move in, they've got the root, the self-fuels will buy time for the Tiny to be set, and Magical gets the concoction out. BKB out as well, beats down the Tiny, buyback straight away.
Overgrowth on 3.
Allows Magical to keep the distance back off. 10 seconds until Blizzy's back in the game. They're doing their best in Navi as the 2 of them to make sure they don't lose a second set of racks. With the burst, Laguna again gets the kill. The Radiance from the Illusion though is ticking in your dream down. He's trying to run away. He can't. He dies to the Radiance burn, but back in the base. Argit jumps in with the BKB. Magical gets bursted. Blizzy tries to come in as the BKB from Argit allows him to come in for more. He's taking a lot of damage from the tier 4 tower. It was Argit. He may just die now the Moonlight.
Oh my god, he almost
save him from that last hit from the tier 4 tower. He gets back out.
He was walking along the Midnight Pulse as well, but he takes the path to the left, ends up surviving. But there's no Alchemist for 100. Phoenix and Enigma are way too weak to be able to contest Tigers when they have their whole lineup.
45 seconds until a black hole. Chronosphere as well, still down.
Radiant's top barracks has fallen.
As they will lose a second set of racks. Zephyr starting to poke and prod at Navi outside of the fountain.
There's no Alchemist for 80. The team fight, like sure, when they have their ultis, they can be strong, but the Alchemist is everything for them. Tigers, they're looking to close it.
5 seconds until the Chronosphere from Crystallite. This tier 3 tower is falling. They get the Yule setup. They're trying to commit in. The Supernova comes out. He needs a perfect chrono. Can he actually get to the Lina in time? The Supernova is still going for now. Moon, he's trying to finish it off, but he can't. The Supernova successful. Moon's still very tight. He's Spirit Vessel is down. Crystallite is planted though. No chance for a chrono. Zephyr's on top of him with the Toss Avalanche combo. They are without the Void Shoe. He's been dusted. Blizzy walking in. He's got the black hole. They don't have the control though. The Yules comes out. The black hole cancel Tigers. They've found 3. The light strikes down onto Blizzy. Yules as well onto the GG is called. And Tigers have done it. They are going to the major.
Look at Moon, he's so happy. Steven gets up instantly, 1 point.
One's going.
That was fantastic.
I mean, and a team, game 2, game 3, these guys, they were able to pick themselves back up after 2 crushing defeats.
忘れた記憶なくしたことは